in the meeting. I have to go to my browser.
Recording back. And I'm going to go here. Turn this way and pray that it shows correctly on the screen. It does. I love it when a plan happens. Okay. So, for those of you that are on Zoom, can you see a big PowerPoint that says Ignite with a very pretty lady on it that says session 1?
Yes.
Awesome. All right. And I saw somebody else just joined. Oh, wait. I got all kinds of people joining. All right. Hold on a minute. So I'm going to unshare for just a second. Okay.
No one's here.
All right. So, Aaron Carpenter, welcome.
Hey, everybody.
Tell me which market center you are with.
I am with the Castle Rock Keller Williams Action Realty.
Perfect. And we got Mark and we got Diana and Becky and Tracy is online. Tracy is our productivity coach in Castle Rock. So I hope that means she's telling me she's got a room full of people. We've got Ari, we got Taylor, Nikki Adams. Which market center are you with?
I'm with Castle Rock Action Realty.
Okay, awesome. And then Robert. Okay. So I've got a few people in the room with me today. Let me turn the camera. Actually, I'll just do this. At least you can see my face a little bit. Maybe. So my name's Margaret Gade. I am the productivity coach at Keller Williams Avenues in Arvada, Colorado. Just a little bit about me. I've been in real estate since 2014. I'm in my 6th year of coaching and training, as well as still being in production. I think it's really great when you have a coach that not only can teach you, but is actually out there doing it with you every single day and is fighting the same fight that you have and staying current on what the market is. So I'm super happy to be your instructor on this first day. I am a very two-way conversation, right? This is a workshop. This is designed for you guys to ask questions and to learn. A little bit about Ignite. Ignite is designed to do several things. It's one, to spark your career, okay? And that can mean many of you are brand new, right? Some of you may not have even had your license a month yet, okay? Some of you are right there, okay? You don't know what you don't know, right? So Ignite, if you show up for all 20 sessions, is going to introduce you to pretty much everything you need to know to be successful, okay? We're going to teach you a ton of things. We're going to teach buyer consultations, listing consultations, how to do an open house, contract to close, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We're also going to work with your mind a little bit, okay? Sometimes our mind is our biggest enemy. And so we're going to spend a lot of time on that today to talk about that. The other thing that Ignite is going to bring you is habits, okay? When you all got out of bed this morning, after you went to the bathroom, you have a routine, right? You probably jump in the shower, you probably brush your teeth, you might blow dry your hair, you might do all kinds of different things, but you have a routine, which is a habit. When you start your day, you just jump out of bed and go. Does your day feel off? Verbal.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
right? Like your day feels off, like you're not normal today, right? How many of you work out? Okay. If you miss a workout day, does it feel weird?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're missing something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those habits develop over time because you repeated them day after day after day, week after week after week, and they became a part of who you are. Your real estate career is that same thing. It's about building the habits that will allow you to build your business for as big as you want it to be. So we're going to start those habits in Ignite, and hopefully by the end of Ignite, which is 20 sessions. We're going to spread them over 7 weeks. Hopefully by the end of that 7 weeks, those habits are starting to be ingrained. Okay. So my question is, are you all in, or are you just here because you didn't have anything else to do today?
I mean,
All in? How about on the screen?
All in.
Definitely.
All in. All right. That's what I love. So, and I've got somebody else that just had Chris DePiro. So, the next thing I want to do is I want to show you, I'm told that the link to the participant guide didn't work for everybody. So I'm going to show you really quick how you can go find it so that you can download it yourself. So let me go to share screen. So, okay. Not sure why that's not working. Okay, well, that let me open. Oh, no, I don't want to leave the meeting. And I also don't want you guys to have to see all of my horrible email. So let's do this. Stop share for a second.
It looks like Elizabeth Voorhees just sent a link. I just got an email for this. So you guys might also have it.
Hard to say, but we're going to show you how, we're going to teach you how to fish anyway, just in case. So let's see if it works this time. Okay, so the first place you're going to log into is our website, mykw.kw.com. Okay, you should all have access to that and know how to get there. So I'm going to log in there very quickly. Good morning, Stephanie Taylor. Okay, so from this screen, you're going to go to education. And on the education tab, in the very first row is a series of classes. The one to the right says Ignite 2022. So you're going to log on there. Then you're going to go to materials. And right here under student files is where it says Ignite participant guide. Okay. So that's where it is. You can download it. It looks like it's 355 pieces of paper. So do you how you learn. If you are a paper person, print it. However it works best for you. You can print out the different sessions if you want to, or do the whole thing. So that's how we do that. All right. So we got there. Don't need that anymore. Don't need my email anymore because that's just obnoxious. Okay. So we should be back to Ignite. All right. Are we ready?
Yes.
If I was going to ask you guys what you're hoping to learn in Ignite, what would your answers be?
How
What do
to
you
sell
hope-
houses.
Okay. What did you say, Ari?
I said, let's sell some houses.
Let's sell some houses. All right. Anything a little more specific? Stephanie, you've been through Ignite before. What do you
I
want
have
to
a
walk away
couple
from?
times, and what I usually come away with is more focus. And I know that's not the specific you want, but I just feel more focused on certain things after I take the course or take elements of the course. So that's what I'm hoping for today.
Awesome. Anybody else? All right. Let's get going. You ready? Okay. All right. Let's see if I can get this to work the way I want it to. Okay. So the Ignite calendar, this isn't really right. I needed to update this and I didn't get it done. But we are going to meet every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday to go through Ignite. Okay. 9 o'clock up here at the North Market Center. There's one day in October we're going to move you because I've got the business planning clinic that same day. But other than that, we will be here for those of you that are in Keller Williams Avenues. Tracy will be hosting live in Castle Rock, I believe. And I'm not sure about Foothills if Jody's got a place in-house for you guys to meet. You're obviously welcome to join on Zoom. I always find, for me personally, I learn better in a classroom environment where I got my peers. But everybody's got their own style, so do what works for you. All right. So, okay, I got to get used to what I've printed out last night. So, what we're going to work our way through is we are going to become what's known as the ELLT. Okay, these are our 4 key objectives in Ignite. Okay, the E stands for real estate expert. We want to become an expert at our craft, an expert in our field. If you had to go in today for open heart surgery, would you hope that the surgeon might have gotten some education?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Do you hope that maybe he practiced on something that he couldn't kill? Yes, right? That's what Ignite's going to help you do. We're going to do some practicing. All right. Lead generation, right? So the real estate expert is your first 4 sessions. Okay. That is your basics. Okay. Then we're going to talk into lead generation. When you guys all signed up to be a real estate, when you went to real estate school that first day or that first night, and you were so excited, what did you think your job was as a realtor?
To sell houses.
Your job was to sell houses. Okay.
Service the client.
Service a client. Okay. Well, we tricked you all.
Huh.
Your real job is lead generation. Okay. Because if you don't have leads, you don't have a client to service. If you don't have leads, you don't have a house to sell. Okay. So our real job is lead generation. Now, for some people, that is like a 4-letter word. So what I always say is, I need to go make more friends. I need to have better relationships with the friends and people I already know. Doesn't that sound different? Okay. So when I say lead generation, I just want you to have a big old picture in your brain of your best friend. Okay. All right. Then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to teach you about lead follow-up. You're going to hear the term many, many times in your career, is that the success is in the follow-up. The finances are in the follow-up. Okay. Anyone who has worked in open house. Okay. So if you go out and you work in open house and you get leads there, right? You meet new people, you make new friends. And if you do nothing more than just put that piece of paper in the back seat of your car and drive home and never touch that piece of paper again until you clean out the back seat 6 months later, you wasted your time at your open house, right? You've got to have a follow-up system. Okay. And we've got some people on this call who have actually done that and are getting appointments with people for business as a result of working open houses. And then the last part of the whole session, all of the sessions, is about the transaction itself. How do we service the client from the time we go, even before we go under contract to buy and sell, but how do we service the client through the entire process, getting the listing ready to go to market? How do we do all of those things? So that is what we're going to learn. By the end of Ignite, you will be on a path to being the expert of choice, because you're going to have a robust value proposition. You're going to have a lead generation system that is consistent, and you do it just like you brush your teeth every morning. Okay. You're going to have follow-up systems in place, whatever you decide to do. And we're going to have practice so that we know how to do this, right? We're going to practice on each other so we don't kill a client. Okay. So this just pretty much is talking a little bit about it. Again, we're going to start today with sparking your career. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about how to embrace your job, how to connect with the market on Wednesday. And then next Monday, we're going to be back to how to define your value. Okay. So that's what we're going to focus on these first 4 days. So today's agenda is about thinking differently, right? Ignite installs in all of us a new way of thinking. And I will tell you, even as an instructor, I will, as a result of teaching this class, something will change in the way I think, right? Really, Margaret, you've been doing this for 8 years and you're going to change? Absolutely. right? We never stop changing. We never stop opening our minds and coming up with new ways, right? The key is that we have to have success as a mindset with no doubts. Success in your mind with no doubts that you can accomplish whatever you want to. So we're going to talk today about the 6 personal perspectives. We're going to talk about the Keller Williams culture. We're going to talk about the value of being with Keller Williams, because some of you, how many of you have been here less than 3 months?
Me.
A lot of you, right? So we're going to introduce you to a whole lot of things that you may not even know about our company. Okay. We're going to talk about resources and what your daily success is going to look like. I absolutely love this quote, but I also love the man who said it. Anyone can do it. Not everyone will. Will you? Right? And that is said by Gary himself. Anyone can do it, but not everyone will. Will you? So what does that say to you guys? A couple of you, tell me what that quote says to you.
That the opportunity is there for everyone, but will everyone have the desire and dedication to do it?
Mm-hmm. Good one. Anybody else? On Zoom land, anyone can do it. Not everyone will.
Putting
Will
in
you?
the effort and making sure it's consistent effort.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Call to action.
Getting yourself out of your comfort zone. Okay. That's the hard part, right? It's a very simple business. How many of you who are in avenues know who Casey Fogelman is? Does anybody? I know Stephanie does, right? If you're friends with Casey Fogelman, let me just tell you what she just did. And I had the most fantastic, that's why I was late this morning. So Casey just got back late last night from I want to say 3-week trip to Portugal and Spain, that part of Europe. And they did a walk. They walked over 210 kilometers over a period of time. And she said, Margaret, I thought the first 3 days were going to kill me. Right. But they kept going. Right. And they kept marching and they kept doing it. And they pushed themselves out of their comfort zone. And I said, and did that change your life? And she said, in more ways than you'll ever know. She goes, I probably don't even know all the ways that experience. And if you would have talked to Casey before she went, she didn't really want to go. So this is going to be similar. I'm just not going to make you walk 210 kilometers in the rain. All right. So the 6 personal perspectives. So this is in your participant guide. I don't know what page because I didn't print out the 300 pages.
Page 9.
Thank you, Mark. Mark is our studious one. And so he's going to keep me on track. So I love it. So our keys to success. I'm going to ask you this, right? Would you like to know the keys to success and abundance? Let me ask that question first.
Yes.
Yes. Well, they're on your screen, right? They're in your participant guide, right? These 6 personal perspectives are the ways successful people who've come before us think and approach problems or challenges. It's about the mindset of success. How many of you own a car? Okay. What is a critical piece of that car? And there's 4 of them.
Maintenance or
The tires,
tires.
the
The
wheels,
steering wheel.
the steering wheel. But let's just go with the tires or the wheels. Okay. Because there's an old phrase, right? If you went out and decided you wanted a car, would you go create your own wheel for that new car?
No.
Why not?
Well,
Already been done.
wheels for a while.
It's already been done, right? It's already been done, right? Even Robert, who was in the car industry, is like, I'm not going to go create a new wheel. There's no need to. I'm just going to use the wheels that are out there and build the car around it. Well, we have wheels in our business, right? And we have the advantage of the people who've been in this business for a long time and have been very successful at it are willing to share how. The Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, the Bread book, the MREA. You guys all familiar with that book? Hopefully you're all reading it, listening to it on Audible, Kindle, whatever you're doing. That was written by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan. But they didn't sit in a room and just get on a whiteboard and go, what do you think we should write about this? Instead, what they did is they went out and talked to people back when they wrote the book, which wasn't yesterday. And these were agents that were in all different brokerage firms who were netting $1 million a year or more in income. Who better to teach us how they do their business? So they took all of that information, put it into the MREA, and basically wrote you guys the handbook of how to be millionaires in real estate. Okay. These 6 personal perspectives are a big piece of what came out of that. It's what differentiates those who achieve at the highest level from those who don't seem to accomplish as much. Okay. All right. Are we ready?
Yes.
The first one. I think this one is probably, for me, this is the most important one. They're all important, but this one to me is huge, right? Commit to self-mastery. First of all, know your goals, right? If you don't know your goals, why are you getting up in the morning? For those of you that are in avenues in Arvada, a lot of you, we've been working on GPSs, right? In the coaching program, we've been working on your GPS. We're all getting ready to launch 2023, both in business planning and all of that type of stuff. And we're going to write a goal sheet. And the GPS stands for 1 goal, 3 priorities, and 5 strategies. And they're what they tell us to do every single day. Okay. If you go to the gym and you want to achieve a certain thing, your trainers are going to tell you, okay, this is what we have to do every day to get you to that end desired result. Okay. That is called mastery, knowing what your goal is, knowing your end results. Why am I doing this? Okay. Know your strengths and weaknesses. What are you good at? Where do you need to grow? And what are you going to do to take a weakness and turn it to a strength, or at least counterbalance it? Okay. Know how to work with both your strengths and weaknesses to seek and master the necessary knowledge, skills, and habits to reach your goals. And once you know those strengths and weaknesses, it becomes very easy to define what you're going to be able to do and how you're going to do it. So some of you are not going to be surprised by this, but I am the worst at paperwork. The absolute worst. I am not a detailed person, right? Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, we got this. No big deal. Like I'm a go, 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 go. And I'm a relationship person. Please don't make me upload my documents in Command. Please don't make me worry about sending documents back and forth between buyer and seller agents. I hire a TC for that because I know that's a weakness. And I know for me to be at my best way to solve that is to let somebody else do it. Okay. However, one of my weaknesses used to be public speaking. Does anybody believe that today who's been around me for any period of time?
Believe whatever you tell us.
Okay, I did. I used to get butterflies. I still get butterflies. I had butterflies driving over here today. I'm like, I haven't taught this course this way before. Okay. Self-mastery, right? Does anyone know how long it takes to master something?
1,000 hours.
10,000 hours. 10,000.
Oh, 10,000 hours.
It's 10,000 hours to master something. Okay. Right. We've got people on this call, Tracy and Stephanie and Taylor, who have taken Ignite before, but they're back as a form of self-mastery because they didn't master every component of it. Okay. So it takes time to master it. Okay. So does anybody here play sports? Nobody?
I used to.
You used to? Okay. What did you play?
Field hockey.
Oh man, she had to pick the sport I don't know a whole lot about, right?
I played
They
the
wear
soccer
really cute,
too.
cute outfits.
Yeah,
They wear cute outfits.
And they can
Okay.
smack you really hard.
soccer.
Soccer. Okay. So the very first time that you went out to play field hockey or soccer, how did it go when you went to kick the ball or hit it with a stick, whatever you were doing?
Failed miserably.
Failed miserably. Okay. But what happened?
We got better.
Because
We practiced.
you had a coach who taught you and you
And a
practiced,
coach taught me. Yeah.
right? Right. So absolutely. Right. I'm a bowler. I grew up, my mom was an amazing bowler. We grew up in a bowling alley. My brother's a professional bowler. I kind of bowl.
You
Man,
bowl.
I remember the days when I couldn't break 50. Okay. And because I hired a coach, I got at a point in my life that I was actually a fairly decent bowler. Okay. And then I retired and then I came back and I'm still not back where I used to be. So now I've decided I want to get back to the level I was at, which means I hired my coach back. And he makes me practice. I have to go to the lanes and throw the bowling ball at the 10 pin for an hour and it doesn't count for anything. There's no score. But that's how you master it.
Do you put it between your legs with both hands and scoot it that way, or how?
Oh, heavens, no. I would fall down and break something if I did that, right? Oh, yeah, you got to stop at the line, right? That oil is slick. Okay. All right. So my question is, are you committed to self-mastery? Okay. And that's a self-reflecting question. Are you committed to knowing what your goals are, identifying your strengths and weaknesses, and actually acquiring the knowledge, skills, and habits to be successful in this business? Are you committed? Okay. The room just got wonky. Okay. Trust me, I feel the energy even through the computer screen.
You didn't talk about habits, but those are increasingly important to me. Other people probably got the memo a long time ago, but anything you can make just a habit, it's so much better than having to overthink it.
Exactly.
And habit and rituals, are they the same?
Habit and what?
Rituals.
Yeah, probably, right? I mean, you do the same thing, right? In a particular ritual or all of that type of stuff, but a habit. Yeah, for me, a habit in real estate is I show up, right? And we will go through this at another day, right? But if I were to put up the perfect day for a real estate agent, it would be, I would be in the office by 8 o'clock. I do script and role play and affirmations for the first 15 minutes. Then I hit the phones or do my lead generation starting at 9. I call until noon. Then I go to lunch. Then in the afternoon, if I don't have appointments, I might have a dedicated time for some email and some paperwork, maybe developing a presentation if I'm new, like putting together those systems and models. And then I'm out servicing my clients and letting the afternoon happen. And then the last thing I do when I leave is I prep for the next day. Right? What's my call list look like tomorrow? What am I doing? Right? And we have systems to teach you those things, right? There's the DTD2 from Never Ending Referrals, right? Where there's specific letters of the alphabet you call in a different week.
And do you prep even on the weekends? Are you preparing for?
Yeah. It's like if you saw my calendar on Sundays, it's prep for next week. So I spend at least an hour every Sunday looking at my calendar for the week, figuring out what adjustments I need to make. Sometimes I even look 2 weeks in advance. Like this week, I'm going up to the Colorado Summit. So I had to really look at my calendar for 2 weeks to make sure that those 2 days out of my normal routine, I could figure out how to get it all in. Okay. But great question. Yeah, I plan every day. First thing I do, when I get up in the morning, is I actually look at my phone and say, okay, what do I have today? Where do I need to be? How long can I lay in bed? Right? This morning was a little shorter than normal because I had to be here. Okay. So yeah, but those habits, right, of just doing that stuff. All right. The second principle is commit to the 80-20. Has anyone ever heard of the 80-20 principle? For those of you that have not taken Ignite. What is the 80-20 principle, Diane?
It's basically 20%, well, 20% of your actions will be 80% of the results. Kind of like what's right there.
Exactly.
In other words, it's like we used to use it as 20% of our people will produce 80% of our work. So to scale it back, and what it means to me is you need to focus on the most effective way to get results. So
Love it.
Don't waste your time trying to better a web page. Make your time spent on getting your client to a web page.
I love that. Don't spend all your time on the web page. Spend your time getting people to your web page. Right? You don't have to have the perfect listing consultation document because it's about you when you get in front of them. Right? Some of you have said to me, oh, I got to get my website done. I got to get my website done. I got to get my website done. And I'm like, you just need a website that validates you. Don't spend hours on it, right? Unless you're going to do blogging and SEO and all of that stuff, just keep it simple. Okay. But you're right. 20% of your actions will lead to 80% of your results. And if you look at the realtors who are successful, every year we do real estate awards, and I see it in the market center. And sure enough, 20% of our agents carry 80% of the office results. 20% of the realtors in the Denver metro area carry 80% of the Denver metro results. It comes true everywhere, right? And I come from a similar background of Diane in telecom, and we used to talk about the 80-20 principle all the time, right? And for us, it was the opposite. It's like, what are the number one drivers that are causing our systems to fail? And let's attack those, because that will fix 80% of our problems. We looked at it in a reverse. The 20% was kind of a negative, but it's the same principle. So when you think about all the things that have to be done as a real estate agent, if you focus on your 20% and leverage out the rest, you will be highly successful. Okay. Now, I'm not saying don't ever answer an email, right? I'm not saying don't upload your documents in Command. That's not what I'm saying, right? That's part of your, that is part of your 80%, right? But your 20% as a realtor are, let me see if I can remember them all. Lead generation, lead follow-up, negotiating contracts. Oh my God, I didn't write them down. Role play, practice and role play, and attend closings. Go on appointments. That's what it is. Lead generation, lead follow-up, go on appointments, negotiate, practice and role play. Those are your top 5 things. So those things should have dedicated time in your calendar every single week. Okay. And if you're not on appointments, so if you block, let's say you block a couple of hours a week to go on appointments, right? And appointments can mean listing consultations, buyer consultations. For those of you that are brand new, if you can get an appointment with one of your friends to go have coffee with you and it gets to talking about real estate, that will count. But if you don't have an appointment, then fill that appointment time in, not with email or pickleball, but fill in that appointment time with either more practice or more lead generation. That makes sense?
Even if pickleball leads to real estate.
Well, so I have that same problem because of bowling. I lead generate at the bowling alley all the time.
Okay.
So
Okay, what is pickleball?
it's a silly game. It's a game. It's a social thing.
It's lazy tennis, basically.
Thank you, Mark. I was not going to say it, and I'm glad that
It's
you
the
did.
it's the sad truth. But as we get older, our knees can't play tennis anymore. So we have to. It's the consolation prize.
I thought
Yeah.
you were talking about bowling and I was imagining the racket, but you're talking about pickleball, right?
Yep, I was.
Okay.
And here's what I just realized. The sound is coming out of my computer, not out of the sound bar. All right, we'll fix it later. You guys hearing this okay through here? Okay.
Yeah, we're fine.
All right.
I'm fine.
Super duper. Okay, so we had a little fun about the 80-20. Okay, so your 20% are your big rocks. Okay, so you want to always put those in the jar first. Okay, so, and I already answered this question, right? In Ignite, we identify your 20%. It's your dollar productive activity is lead generation. As a matter of fact, if you were to look at my calendar, my lead generation activity is color coded in green. I don't know why I would pick green. Anybody want to guess?
I would love to see your calendar.
It's money, money, money.
Salad.
Somebody said they wanted to see my calendar.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Let's see it. Come on, just a peek.
Seriously?
Yeah, just a peek.
I'll show you right before we go to break.
Okay.
Okay, so moving from E to P. Okay, this one is just fascinating, right? So all of us can attain a certain level of success using our natural abilities. And we can also expect to hit a ceiling, right? For example, let's say that you as a kid got really good at doing cartwheels and flips. That would never have been me. Okay. Did having that a natural ability allow you to perform in a circus? Probably not.
I hope
Right?
somebody says yes. I want to hear that story.
You would have to practice and work really hard, probably with a coach for a long time before you could perform in the circus.
Yes.
Or Cirque du Soleil. I mean, come on, let's really go to the big time, right?
Yeah.
Right? We will all hit a ceiling based on our natural abilities alone. Okay, so we could all run out the door right now and go door knocking. Of course, now half of you are going to just shut down and run away from me when I say that, but we could run out the door and we could all go door knocking and we could just be really random about it. And some of us would have really great success and some of us wouldn't. But we would hit a natural ceiling by just doing that. Then what we would have to do is go, okay, well, wait a minute, just going out and running and just randomly attacking houses isn't very effective. So now I need to change it. How can I change it? Well, maybe I get more purposeful, right? Maybe I say, oh, I'm going to focus on just this one block or this one community or this one set of townhomes. And I'm going to talk to them about this. And now what happens? Now I become more effective because I've added a system on and it lets me break through my natural ability. Okay. Makes sense? All right. But you got to get purposeful and thoughtful on what you're going to do. Okay. So anybody have an example of when you reached a ceiling in your achievement?
Speaking of door knocking.
Okay.
Door knocking without purpose, just knocking and handing out your card and not having, purpose, something to discuss with them, something to bring value. That was 32 houses, and then I was like done.
Yeah, it happens. But if you went out and door knocked 100 doors a day, you'd have more business than you would ever know what to do with. And it doesn't cost a lot of money.
But having that purpose, knowing what to say, makes a huge difference.
Exactly, right? Even just knowing what to say will help you go beyond your natural ability. Okay, absolutely, right? Many of us have left a salaried career for a salaried job for a career in business and real estate, and they say they hit a ceiling and how far they were promoted or how they were paid. How many of you have had a corporate job in your past? Say I. I, right? Who decides how much money you're going to make? HR, right?
Oh.
HR, the principals, whoever, right? But guess what? We don't have anybody telling us that, right? High achievers are always looking for a way to be more purposeful And by doing this, they break through the ceilings of their natural behavior. I can pretty much talk to anybody. Many of you are extroverts as well, right? And we can talk to anybody. But if I just talk to somebody just randomly, that's my natural ability, right? Am I necessarily going to get what I need or be successful by just randomly talking to people? No. But if I have a purpose in when I'm talking to people, what does that do?
It helps direct the conversation.
Exactly. Right. So when we use our natural ceiling, and if you look at the graph on the left, right, the entrepreneur, right, and the fact that you guys are all here as now new business owners or business owners for a while, you are an entrepreneur, and we are typically shoot from the hip. I'll just figure it out along the way as I go, and it's all going to be just fine. And what typically happens when we're in that is that when we hit our natural ceiling, we have disappointment. We have resignation. Sometimes we consider going to greener pastures, and then we repeat. So I'm going to pick on you with your door knocking. Okay. So we decided to go door knocking, and we knocked on 32 doors, but we didn't have a purpose as to why we wanted to go door knocking. We didn't have a plan of what we were going to talk about. We just knocked on somebody's door and said, "Hi, I'm a realtor. Here's my card."
Yeah.
Okay. And by the way, that has been known to work. Okay. There's many stories of that. But because you didn't feel a high level of satisfaction with what you did with those 32 doors, you have gone through disappointment. You've gone through resignation with it. And in some ways, maybe looking at greener pastures, saying door knocking doesn't work, I need to find something else. Okay. Now, if I took the purposeful approach to that door knocking,
I'm on a class.
Get ready, Stephanie Taylor. Okay. And I'm going to get purposeful, and I'm going to be focused in what I'm going to do. I'm going to use a model. I'm going to use a system to do my door knocking. What's going to happen? I'm going to break through my natural ability, and I'm going to get some results.
Get more confident in your conversation.
Exactly.
Having a purpose for me too, because you know, Margaret knows this. I door knock a lot, but I'm usually trying to get out of it. But I find the one thing other than my partner Mary that gets me out there is having a specific message for whatever round I'm on. So earlier back in March, it was handing out a little notice to homeowners, not even about real estate, but saying, "Hey, after the fires last year, did you think to go to your insurance agent and make sure that you're covered to the amount you need to be in this day and age for how much it costs to rebuild your house?" Right now I have my message is, do you still love where you live? Do you need to right size? Can I help you with that? So every time I go out, I try to have a specific message as I cycle through my farm.
And the easiest door knocking is to invite people to your open houses.
Oh yeah, that's great too.
That's easy.
You feel like you're
Right?
giving a party.
Exactly, right? I mean, there's so many. I actually like door knocking. I have figured out that I think the best people who like door knocking the most used to be Girl Scouts who sold cookies door to door.
Yeah.
Because we had a purpose, and we went to our neighbors, and I've got Girl Scouts in the room, and they're all going,
And people did what you
right?
had.
They stood out in front of the grocery store, right? So, all right. Thoughts on this? Moving from E to P. I want to hear from somebody who's not from Keller Avenues. Becky, Aaron, anybody got any thoughts on that?
I'm still new and trying to figure out.
That is fine. Well, I just hope that the only thing you don't take away from this class is that Margaret's crazy.
That's one of the things, not the only thing.
I sometimes am a comedian, and my daughter says, "Mom, stop." Okay. Being learning based. Okay. Congratulations. You already are. You're here. Okay. I think that, and I want to talk about this in general, but I want to say this: just don't become so learning based that all you do is learn. Okay. Because it doesn't matter how smart you are if you're not out meeting prospective people to help. Okay. So yes, make learning important, right? Make sure you're going to classes in your market centers. Make sure most of you, I'm going to guess, are in some kind of coaching program in your market center. Make sure you're attending that regularly. We see all the time the people that show up for coaching and classes and are continuing to master their craft are the ones who are the most successful. Okay. We have some amazing education calendars in our market centers. You can't go to all the classes. That's just a reality. And I can't believe as an educator, I'm saying this. Okay. But pick the one or two that month that matter the most to you and go to those. Okay. This month you're in Ignite for 3 days a week. You go to coaching. Maybe that's all you do this month. And that's okay. Maybe Kevin is teaching his 4 free CE contract to buy and sell class. I would probably go take that. Okay. Right. Maybe the market center is hosting, maybe you're going to go, you got to a point where you're like, I really want to go up to Vail and listen to those top producers in the state of Colorado. But you don't have to do it all. Because if you do to all the education, you will never get into motion. Okay. Make sense? So a learning-based individual appreciates learning for their own improvement. They know what they know, and they know there is always more to know. An individual who does not appreciate learning is what's referred to as, oh, this is funny, ignorance-based. They know what they know and ignore everything else. Okay. Learning-based individuals have made the decision to use effective learning as the foundational piece for their action plan to develop life. Okay. Learning and training moves you forward in your goals, which is why you have to always be learning and growing. I would tell you, even Gary Keller is learning-based. He is always continuing to learn, looking at new different things, and his brain is always about 5 years ahead of the industry. But if he didn't continue learning and studying, he couldn't do it. Okay. So I'll give you an example for myself. I understand residential real estate in the city really, 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 really well. Really well. You figure I probably am involved in up to 200 to 300 transactions a year between the coaching program and my own business. So I'm pretty good at it. Take me up the mountain. Now I'm getting better at sewer lines or septic systems and leach fields and wells. Take me out on the plains where we got mineral rights. We got water rights. I don't know anything. What do you think one of the classes that I'm looking to take might be? Mineral rights, right? I need to at least know enough to be dangerous, right? Because at least if I know enough to be dangerous, I know to ask more questions. But when I know nothing, I don't even know what to ask. And that's where I cannot serve my client, right? The good news is all of you have coaches. You all have managing brokers. We all have Kevin Wilson as our operating principal. We have people we can ask when we're like going, I don't even know where to start, right? But figure out, what do I need to know to take me to the next level? For many of you right now, it's probably, I just need to understand contracts. Right? I really need to understand the contracts because that's my number one value proposition to my clients. It's not getting access to the lockbox and opening a door. It's understanding the contracts and how to use them. Okay. So congratulations. You are all learning based. Just be careful that you don't go too far with the learning. Okay. All right. I love this. This is a quote by Mr. Albert Einstein himself. And clearly, I would say that he was probably a very highly learning-based individual. Okay. It says, I am neither especially clever nor especially gifted. I am only very, very curious. I don't remember where it was yesterday, but I was talking about, has anyone had a 2-year-old in your house, ever been a 2-year-old or been around a 2-year-old? Okay.
Yeah.
What is the one thing about 2-year-olds?
Constant question.
What's that? Why is that? How is that?
Why? How? Right? I can remember when my 25-year-old was 2, I literally wanted to put duct tape on her mouth. Right? Instead, I just took her to daycare and went home. But right? But we want to have that same curiosity as a 2-year-old. Right? And that curiosity isn't just about how to do real estate. That curiosity is learning about the people that we are going to be working with. Being curious with people that you meet at open houses. Being curious with the people that you're getting to know. Right? Some of the things that you're going to learn as we get into the buyer and seller consultations is the key to the consultation isn't about telling, it's about asking great questions. And then asking great questions that take you down to the next level. Okay, so Mr. Seller, tell me what's the plan as far as selling the house? Well, we're moving to Portland. Okay, great. And then I just move on to the next question? No. So tell me, what's taking you to Portland? Why Portland? Okay. And he might say, I've got a job coming up there. Okay, well, tell me about your job. Right? I'm always getting to know them. Right? And for those of you that coach with me and those of you that will get to spend the next 7 weeks with me, right? You're going to find out I know a lot about a lot of you. Right? And I will start pulling it out. Right? As far as Robert used to be in the cars, Chris is a personal trainer, Diane used to be in tech field. Right? And as I get to know more and more and more and more of you, I pull that out. Right? I didn't learn that by just saying, okay, welcome to real estate, right? But it's about being curious about people's backgrounds and understanding how it all works. So you're going to do the same thing with your real estate plan. Okay. All right. Is anybody asleep yet? I haven't heard any snoring.
No snoring.
No snoring. All right. Limiting beliefs. The 5th perspective is to remove your limiting beliefs. High achievers remove the beliefs that hold them back. So what is a limiting belief? A limiting belief are the thoughts and mindsets that limit you. Like the ones on the slide. I don't have enough time for training. I can't be successful in this market. I can't devote 3 hours every day to lead generation, Margaret. Okay, those are limiting beliefs, right? Some other examples of limiting beliefs, I'm going to guess, is in some of your heads right now.
Mm-hmm.
I have to be an expert and know everything before I can begin my business. I'm not valid yet. Oops, boy, did I feel some energy change. I don't know how I can achieve a profit goal that will ever fund my life this year because it's already September. I just don't feel comfortable talking to people about real estate, so I'm just going to be a secret agent. You know what? Those opportunities will just fall from the sky, right? I got a license, somebody knows. The business will come to me naturally. I don't need to lead generate. I don't need to tell anybody. Those are all examples of limiting beliefs. Here's another one. I don't have my business cards yet. I don't have my website up. I don't have my listing presentation put together. Hey, Robert, are you there?
Yes, sorry.
That's okay. So when you went out and met with that one individual last Friday, did you have a fancy listing presentation put together?
No, not at all.
Okay. Did you have a buyer consultation book put together?
Nope.
Nope. What did you sign on Sunday?
We did a listing agreement and a buyer's agreement.
There we go. And nothing. He had himself. His business cards aren't even in because he's only been with us for 2 weeks.
Good job, Robert.
Awesome, Robert.
Okay.
Right.
Right? Robert said, I need to have people under contract in 30 days. What do I have to do? And he did it. Didn't wait, right? He just went out there and did it. He was that little boy who was playing t-ball for the first time. And he picked up his glove and he went out in the field. And if that ball came to him, he didn't know what he was going to do, but he was going to do something.
He swung.
And well, not if he had his glove in his hand in the field. If he had his bat, he would swing. Right? My point is, he just went out there. He just went for it. How many of you are holding yourself back because you have to be ready, 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 ready.
Or it's too late. Oh, it's too late. I always think that to myself. And you always tell me, Margaret, don't think that, just do it.
So tell me more about that.
Oh my God. I'm the queen of having these great ideas and these big plans. And then it's 3 weeks later and I'm like, oh, there's that thing I never did. And Margaret, you encouraged me and convinced me, and I think it's true, that the people that are clients or potential clients, they don't know what your schedule is. They don't know that you failed to deliver something 3 weeks ago. They're just kind of happy when you show up and have something for them. So don't let your idea about what's perfect get in the way of just making progress.
Love that.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Love that one. How many of you either are now or when you were younger danced? Took ballet, tap, jazz, anything like that? Anybody? Do I have any dancers in the crew?
I just freak out every once in a while.
Okay, that's fine.
I did.
So,
I'm freaking
okay, there we go. So Taylor, when you danced, did you solo, did you compete, or did you just dance in a group?
No, I kind of switched over to cheer before I got into like solos and stuff.
Okay.
So when I was really little, it was groups.
Okay, that's fair. So my daughter was a competitive dancer, and she did solos and she did duets and she did trios and she did big groups. Now, if I'm in a big group of dancers and we're all supposed to be doing the exact same step at the same time, and if I mess up, will people know?
No.
All day long. In a big group, if you're all in a line and one person's out of step, somebody's going to know, hey, wait, she forgot to turn, right? But when you're in a solo and you forget your choreography, as long as you keep moving, nobody knows you messed up the choreography other than you, your choreographer, maybe your dance instructor, and your mom. The judges don't know, the audience doesn't know, right? This is the same thing, right? Stephanie's example is absolutely right. She had a client, she met him at an open house. She said that she would follow up with him, and she didn't. And in her mind, she should have followed up in a week. Well, it's too late, nothing to do. And I'm like, just go call him. And she did.
I do whatever.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much. This was fantastic. I'm so glad you circled back. They don't know that your timeline and theirs aren't the same. The only time that happens is if you say, I'll call you tomorrow, and you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So don't ever feel that way. And you know what? We're all human. Right? Even the people that we do let down are human. Right? It's how we handle it. So don't let things get in your way and stop you. Make sense? All right. I love that. So we are going to do some reframing of the limiting beliefs that are in the participant guide. So, and I don't have the participant guide in front of me. So does anybody have it up on their computer in the room? Okay. So there's one of them that says that it says, I have to be an expert and know everything before I can begin my business. I'm not valid yet. How do we alter that? Okay, I see it. I'm coming over here. Okay, how do go? Oh, let's just kill ourselves. Okay, so how do we? So scroll down. So how do I change? I have to be an expert and know everything before I can begin my business. I'm not valid yet. How can I change that thought? What can I say to myself?
Well, instead of concentrating on what you might not know, what do you know? What can you be successful with? I might not know anything about contracts, but I can sure the heck door knock.
Okay.
Like you pointed out with Robert, Robert didn't have any tools, any of that. He just went and met, sold himself, and bam, got it.
I would argue he didn't even sell himself. He asked a whole lot of questions about what the client needed. He asked so many questions, I even know what the client needs. Okay.
Awesome.
All right. Here's how we're going to reframe that one to give you the example. I am eager and confident to start my business now and learn along the way. Okay. We're going from I have to be an expert and know everything to I am ready to roll and I'm going to learn as I go.
Mm-hmm.
Does that change how you think about things? Oh, it's the other laptop. I don't care. All right, what's the second one? The second one says, I don't know how I achieve a profit goal that will fund my life this year. I don't know how I'm going to achieve a profit goal that will fund my life this year. How can we change that one?
How do I set the goals that I need to achieve? Maybe just turning it in, maybe just flipping the question. I don't know how, so how do I learn about? How do I know? How do I gain this experience?
Well, instead of making a question, say, I will figure out.
Okay, I will figure it out, right? When we do business planning clinic, we say, I want to make this much money because by doing so, it'll allow me to do this, whatever that this is. And when you leave, you know exactly how many contacts you need to make. So what if we changed it to say, I don't know how I achieve a profit goal that will fund my life this year to, I know what I need to do every day to achieve my goal for the year. How does that change what you're thinking? Right? I don't know how to, I know what I need to do today to achieve my goal.
It's empowering.
It is empowering, right? Is anybody trying to lose weight here?
Yes, Mark.
It sucks, right? But here's the thing. When you go on that plan, you know exactly how many calories you're supposed to eat that day, or how many carbs you're not allowed to eat that day. And you know exactly how much you have to work out to achieve your goal. And if I focus on only staying within those limits of calories or carbs, whichever kind of plan you're on, and that workout plan, if I do those things every day, will I ultimately achieve my weight loss goal?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. But it would be very easy to say, I could never lose that much weight. Mm-hmm. It would be easy to say if I take this.
It would be easy to say, but you have the choice because you've got the plan. Oops, did I say that word?
And so now we have the choice
right
in our businesses because we have a daily plan.
Right.
Your contact goal is 100 a day.
Yes.
You're shocked I remembered that, aren't you?
No.
Okay. So 100 contacts a day. If you hit that 100 contacts a day, we're going to hit that big, humongous goal that you set for yourself.
Yes, we will.
Right? We're not focused on the big goal. Not focused on that big goal at all. We're focused on what I have to do today. Is anybody a runner? Anybody do silly things like run marathons?
I'm a walker these days.
Walking is good. Okay. Let's all go run a marathon tomorrow. You guys ready?
Oh.
Okay. What if we said, let's run a marathon next April?
Sure.
What would we do now? Prepare. We would prepare how? Training. Can we go run 10 miles tomorrow?
No.
Probably not, right? For some of us, we might run a half a mile, right? Like we would build up, right? But we would know, we would develop a plan that said, if I want to run a marathon in April, this is what I have to do in September, October, November, and December to get myself ready. Your businesses are no different, right? You're running a marathon, not a sprint. Okay. All right. Are we good? You guys getting this? How about some thumbs up on the screens? All right. I got real thumbs up. I got fake thumbs up with the little emoji things. All right. Limiting beliefs. Be accountable. This is the 6th one. Right?
Can we take this step back?
Yep.
So I have a marketing plan I built myself.
Okay.
And I went to implement it. And I hit a limiting belief that looks a lot like number 3.
Oh.
And it's not exactly, I'm not comfortable in talking to people about real estate. It is, I feel disingenuous about making a shift in my activity in my civic association, because I don't want it to be seen as, oh, well, she's a real estate agent now. Of course she wants to do these things for us. And it's kind of kicked me in the butt. And I'm trying, in looking at that statement, I'm trying to come up with how to break through that limiting belief.
Okay, so let me ask a couple of questions. So this is an organization. Were you involved in it at a high level before real estate?
No, mainly because of a 60-hour-a-week job.
Right. Understood that one. Okay. So we had a full-time career. We still were involved at some level, just not a high level. Okay.
So I was more participant. I was a donator. I would volunteer every once in a while, that sort of stuff.
Okay. And now that you have not a 60-hour-a-week corporate job that tells you where you have to be, being more involved in that does 2 things for you. It allows you to get out and be more involved in something you have a heart for.
Mm-hmm.
And it allows you to interact with more people.
Mm-hmm.
And a fringe benefit of that may be potential real estate business in the future.
Yes.
Okay. But you didn't decide to join that organization to sell real estate.
Not in the beginning. No.
Okay. And that's still not why you're there.
No.
You're not part of that organization because you're a realtor. You're part of that organization because you have a heart for it. What I would say is go out there and follow your heart and let the relationships with the people that are there happen organically. And so what I mean by that is, so you're going to go out and you're going to do whatever that work is. Okay. Mm-hmm. And you're going to talk about the activity. Okay. Mm-hmm. And as you're getting to know people, you're going to be curious. And you're going to be curious and you're going to say, so Tracy, like, tell me, what do you do now? What kind of work do you do other than the volunteers? This is what everything you do, right? Whatever those conversations look like, just let them happen. And the reverse conversation is going to be, well, it's really great to see you here so much more. What's changed for you? And you say, well, I took a huge leap of faith. I left corporate America. It just was no longer a good fit for me. And I really felt like I wanted to open my own real estate business and help people generate wealth through building real estate. And then shut up and let the conversation go where it is, right? Because if you're top of mind with people and you're being authentic and your true self, they're going to trust you. Okay. So what you described to me is the exact opposite of what I considered doing at one point in time. I was getting a ton of referrals from the organization called the Westerneers. You guys all know them. They're the horse people.
They're great.
Okay? I love horses. They're really pretty, right? And I'll go up and I'll pet their little noses or their big noses, depending on what they are. But jumping on and riding one just is not something I really have any interest to do at the age of 62. Not my jam. Okay. But I thought, wow, I'm getting so much business from the Westerneers. Maybe I should go out there and get more involved in it and really support that organization. And I had the aha moment that said, hey, dummy, they're going to see right through you because you're not out there because you care about the Westerneers and the horses. You're out here because you want business, and they're going to see through that, and it's going to backfire. You're not joining the Westerneers because you want real estate, right? You're following your heart with an organization, or you're following something that you enjoy doing, right? Stephanie Taylor has gotten very involved in Wheat Ridge with the mid-mod homes and a lot of the different things that are going on in Wheat Ridge, not because she wants to sell somebody a home, but it's something that interests her and she likes it and she enjoys it. And the fringe benefit would be, okay. I'm not a reader. I hate to read. Hate it, hate it, hate it. I actually asked my girlfriend one time if I could join her book club, and she laughed at me. She's like, you don't even read. Why would I do that, Margaret? Okay. You had something. You had your hand up.
Oh, no, you answered that question.
Okay. Good question. Anybody else?
Margaret, I just want to follow up with that, this conversation, because I think it's great. And for me, it stems back to authenticity and feeling authentic to yourself, and then knowing that other people can pick up when you're not being authentic. And I think it's very important to have that kind of central core aspect of your personality, which is you do things that are driven by your own desires and interests, and then people will read you as authentic.
Just make more friends. And then let the fringe benefit of that friendship be them wanting to help and support you. And at the end of the day, I don't want to sell my friends' houses. I want to help their friends, their coworkers, the people in their lives that I may not know yet. I want the referrals, right? I don't want their business. Okay. Good questions. Yay. All right. Accountability. The sixth and the last perspective is about being accountable. So let me ask this. What does being accountable mean to you? On Zoom, somebody who hasn't talked. Nikki, Aaron, Chris.
I can say something.
Go for it.
It's like super funny because any of my friends that ask me how it's going, this is always something that I touch on, and it's just kind of how you're your own boss. And if I give myself the slightest of an inch, I will actually take a mile. So it's a nice little learning curve to kind of make sure that you're being accountable for yourself, because really the success is for me and no one else, and no one else is going to help me get there if I don't even keep myself accountable.
Or have somebody who will hold you accountable.
Yes.
Awesome. Love that. Anybody else?
Being accountable pretty much means showing up every day, knowing what you have to do and getting it done, and then being the one who's able to be hard on yourself if you're not.
Yep. Anybody else? Sometimes accountability isn't self-accountability. Okay. So Chris is a personal trainer. We could all pay him. He'd get us ready to run that marathon. Okay. Chris, if I said to you, I want to do whatever it is, and you say, okay, we're going to develop this plan. And Margaret, that means that you need to be here with me 3 times a week. What happens when I don't show up?
Well, ultimately, you're hurting yourself to start with. So I always make people self-accountable for that. I explain to them that's ultimately you paid me, so you pay me either way, but you're the one who wants the results. So if you don't have that accountability, of course, I'm going to be like, well, you didn't show up. You're not going to get where you want to go.
Yep. You're going to dive back into why I said I wanted to do it in the first place. Why was it important to me? Okay. How many of you, I'm going to date myself. How many of the ladies, because it was primarily a ladies thing back in the day to do, but how many of you would go to jazzercise or group fitness classes or anything like that? You guys all, you know what I'm talking about? Okay. And you and your girlfriend signed up to do this. You and your buddy, you signed up to do this. And I just got home from work. I'm tired. It's raining outside. I just really don't want to go. Stephanie,
feel the burn.
Stephanie Margaret is going to kick my butt if I don't show up and she's there. She's going to be so mad at me. All right. And I go get in the car and I go meet Stephanie at Jazzercise.
With your leg warmers.
Curves.
Yeah, hush, those were days in the past, right? So sometimes the accountability piece is having that accountability partner, right? We talk about one of the top 5 things that we do in our 20% is practice and role play, right? Well, it's kind of hard to do that by yourself, right? So what if you had a role play partner? What if I took you guys all and I divided you up and I said, Diana and Aaron, you guys are going to be role play partners this week. And so your job is every day for 6 days out of the next 7, you guys need to get together for 20 minutes and you need to role play and practice this script. Do you think you would have a higher level of showing up to do it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because when Aaron calls Diana and she doesn't pick up the phone, the next thing he's going to do is he's going to text and say, are we doing this today? Right? And so having those accountability partners, you're doing 2 things. You're helping yourself and each other, and you're both growing your skills and fulfilling that. And yet you have that accountability partner. You have that person who came out in the snowstorm and went to Jazzercise when you just wanted to stay home and got you to go. Because if you didn't have that person, you would say no, right? Scripts and dialogues, we talk a lot of in the market center. I can only speak to my market center because I'm sure it's different in Evergreen and Conifer and Castle Rock. But when we would do script practice in our market center, the only people that would show up would be me and Charles.
But I wasn't there yet.
No, yep, right. Okay, because there was no one, everyone's thoughts was, well, it's okay. It's just Margaret and Charles, and somebody else will show up. But if it's only 2 of you working together, that is not going to happen. So one of the things I would encourage all of you to do in this program is to find that accountability partner. And maybe you mix it up, right? And maybe we mix it up every week where we say, you know what? I will assign accountability partners today and you script and role play, and then next Tuesday we'll change them up. Okay? It's a great way to build your skills. Okay? So I love that. You guys get it, right? So an accountable person will say, everything in my life is a result of my choices and actions. I own my life. I own my life. Person who is not accountable is going to be a victim. It's always somebody else's fault. There's always an excuse. There's always a reason. One of my favorite BOLD laws, and BOLD is a program that is pretty intense, but it's a great way to grow your business. I encourage you all to take it when it's the right time. And one of my favorite BOLD laws is you can have reasons or you can have results, but you can't have both.
Oh, yeah.
You can have reasons. You can have reasons. You can have results, but you can't have both. Wow. Everybody just kind of went, ooh. But it's true, right? Think about everything in your life. You can have a reason why you didn't do it, or you can get the result you want. So that's one of my favorite ones. So when we look at being accountable, and all of this is so small, I can't read it. Okay. So life happens. So doesn't seek reality. That's somebody who's living in ignorance. They're not asking questions. Someone who is seeking reality, they're aware, right? They're asking those questions. They're figuring out what the situation is. They're identifying what's holding them back. I believe just in a short hour and 20 minutes, some of you have already had some self-identification of what might be holding you back of getting you going. Okay. Number 2, fights reality. They're in denial. That's not what really happened. That's not the way it went. But if you acknowledge reality, you want clarity, right? I see where it's going on. I understand. This is starting to make sense, right? You're starting to figure out the pieces, right? Number 3, I would tell you, is my nephew, blame. blames everybody, blames everything, blames every scenario, total victim mentality. Number 3 is owns it. I love this one. If it is to be, then it's up to me. If it is to be, it's up to me. Okay. What do I want? It's my responsibility. If it didn't go the way I wanted it to, maybe there were other factors, but ultimately it's up to me to figure it out. Personal excuses. It's not my job. It doesn't work here. I was never given a chance. Boy, did those sound like corporate world. Okay. But instead we have finding solutions. What are my options? What can I do to fix it? Right? How do I move it forward? Right? The last one, waits and hopes. Well, if it was meant to be, it'll happen. I passed that test on the 8th try. Somebody will reward me. Somebody will just call me out of the blue, out of the phone book and see that I'm a realtor. It's pixie dust. Okay? That's not reality. Gets on with it. Time's up. Let's go. This is what I want. I'll do it. Right? Which side are you on? I would say that we all fall on both sides at different points in our lives, right? Different scenarios. But the thing is the awareness. The awareness when you fall into that fighting of reality and blaming other people or blaming situations, putting on your bootstraps and saying, okay, let's move it forward. Okay. How we doing?
Good.
Good. All right. Earlier this year, I got to hear Sean Aker. Sean was the keynote speaker at Family Reunion down in Orlando. I have to tell you, if you have the opportunity to read any of his books, he is absolutely amazing. He actually studies for a job, happiness. And the amount of it sounds weird. I saw your face, right? It sounds weird to study happiness, but go listen to his books, go read his books. He is his book, I can't remember the name of it now, and it's not on my cheat sheets. He actually narrates the book on
The
Audible.
Happiness Advantage.
Huh?
The Happiness Advantage.
Is that the one? Happiness Advantage. And to hear him speak, right? But happiness is not an individual sport. And that talks about life, but I think it applies in business as well. Right? It's much more fun to be together, right? And work together and celebrate everybody's successes. So hopefully we can absolutely do that. So what does it say here? Sean pioneered the research that reveals happy humans are more productive, creative, better at problem solving, and even healthier and less stressed.
There's a great professor out of Yale, Laurie Santos is her name, and she does a lot of online lectures. You can watch the classes, but there's a lot of great research on this now. And it's because I think in the 21st century, we're so stressed out all the time and we kind of forget how to use happiness to our advantage.
Yep. Well, and think about what COVID did to us, right? Where did we all go?
Off on our own.
We went and hid in our houses, right? Talk about a stressful time. It was the one time I was thankful for Zoom because I felt connected to the world, right? So embrace it, embrace being accountable, find that partner to help you, right? I'm willing to bet 90% of you are in some kind of coaching program in your market center or about ready to sign up for one. Make sure you've got that coach and give them permission to hold you accountable. And then you all can be the rookie of the year. So one of the things that you'll see a lot of times, you will hear this, it's a Keller Williams thing, but you'll see it a lot of at Ignite. We want to talk about ahas. So I would like to hear from 3 or 4 of you, what has been your ahas from what we've done so far this morning?
I think being able to talk through that limiting belief and hearing again, because I remember going and working with a team about being authentic, and I'm trying to figure out why I would have gotten those lessons, but yeah, it's the authentic. It's like, if you're in a place of authenticity, you're going to be more productive, you're going to be happier, to go to the second piece. And that's my aha.
Good.
Is coming back to that.
Love that. Love that. All right, Zoom land, give me one.
That I'm in that mindset that I'm just going to be a constant learner. I can go to classes and learn. But I need to be more like Robert and just get out there and do it. And because I don't know much of anything, but the only way to get there is to actually do it.
Mm-hmm. Get yourself back on that hockey field.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. How about Castle Rock or Foothills?
I was going to say too, with just, we're being in this industry, being self-starting and moving past some of our limiting beliefs. That's all part of what I'm going through right now with entrepreneurship. And I have my other company that I work with, but mostly this real estate. It's like, oh, I do have so many limiting beliefs that I talk through to myself every day, that just to move past those with models and systems.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Love that. Becky, you went off mute.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think it's encouraging to hear how he went out and just did that. And that's my personality too. I mean, I just got my license active last night. So now I'm ready to go.
Oh, yay! Everybody celebrating. I think you are probably the one with the most recent license in the group.
The freshest.
So,
awesome. Well, congratulations.
Thank you, because that's my personality too, is just barrel right in there. I came from Lockheed. I'm a retired engineer. And so it's really interesting. You know, I love to just get out there and just start plowing into it. So that was encouraging for me.
Love that. You have a couple of other telecom and high-tech escapees also on the call. So we're right there with you. Anybody else? Back in the room, anybody else? No? All right. So the next thing we're going to talk about is our culture, I think. And these are out of order. That's okay. All right. So KW culture. Keller Williams is obviously big on mindset. We always talk about models. We talk about trainings. We talk about systems. But one of the other great big things about KW is our culture, right? And this is going to be hard because I always get teary-eyed in this stuff. So bear with me. All right. But this first page here is really a big summary, for lack of a better term, of all of the different things that incorporate our culture. And we're going to dive into these a little bit deeper. But our MVVBP, right? What is our mission, our value, and what are our beliefs in? Red Day. What is Red Day? What's KW Cares? What's KW Kids Can? What is diversity, equity, and inclusion? And who are these cultural ambassadors? Like, what is this stuff, right? How many of you have ever heard about any of this?
I know about Red Day.
Okay. Other than Red Day, has anybody heard about any of these other things? Oh, good. All right. If we don't do anything else today, we're doing this. Okay. MVVBP. What is our mission? What is our vision? What are our values? What are our beliefs? And what are our perspectives? And my question to you is going to be at the end of this course, what is yours? What is your mission? What is your vision? What are your values, right? Some of them might be completely aligned with Keller Williams's, but they might also be your own, right? So what is our mission? Our mission at Keller Williams is to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving, right? And Ignite, we're going to focus on helping you to build those careers that are worth having, right? That you feel good, that you're making the difference in the world, whatever that is to you, you're able to do that. Okay. Many people have great, great lives, right? Many of them are achieving at such a high level that you just look at them and go, how'd they do that? Right. And some of them are like going, there's a few that I like, oh, I don't ever want to be that big. Right. But it gets up to you, right? And at the end of Ignite, we're going to revisit the mission and explore where we are and how you're doing in planning to live your best life. Okay. Our belief system, this is fondly known as the Y4, I always forget how to say Y4C2Ts. Okay. And each one of these means something. Believe it or not, there's actually a dance to this. Okay. I can't do it. I need Debbie. But the fun part is someday I'm going to make Charles do it. Oh. I know pieces of it. So let's go through these. So the first one is the W. So Jack, go ahead and read the first one for me. It's on the screen.
Or no deal.
Win-win or no deal. Okay. Win-win or no deal. Okay. If you're in a situation where somebody else is going to get hurt, it's not a win-win. Right. The key to negotiating, you'll hear me say this, is that both parties need to feel like they won, that nobody got taken advantage of. Right. So we want that win-win. Okay. Diane, number 2.
Integrity. Do the right thing.
Always.
Always.
I would add that. Do the right thing always, even if nobody else is looking. Okay. Integrity. Do the right thing. Okay. The first C, sir.
Okay. Customers always come first.
Customers always come first. Elizabeth, the fourth one, or yeah, the second C.
Commitment in all things.
Commitment in all things. Right? We're committed to it. Okay, so now this is going to be hard on the screen. We'll see who's really here. So Mark, give me the third C.
Communication. Seek first to understand.
Seek first to understand. Ask great questions. If somebody says something to you and it doesn't make sense, then just keep asking. Okay. Some of you, I think I even said it to Robert when he goes, well, what do I say? And I'm like, well, you need to figure out X, Y, Z, and just keep asking questions till you understand it. Right? I need to understand zoning on a property. Well, call the zoning committee, call the zoning company or the division in the county, and just keep asking questions. If you don't understand it, ask another question. Okay. All right. Becky, give us our last C.
Creativity, ideas before results.
Creativity, ideas before results. Okay. Taylor, that's appropriate. Give me the first T.
Teamwork, together everyone achieves more.
Together everyone achieves more. We are all individuals, right? None of you are on a team that I know of, except for me. Okay. But together, even all of us in this group, right? If we work together and help each other, don't we all achieve more? Right? Somewhere in these 20 sessions, one of you is going to come up with an idea and everybody else in the room is going to go, oh my God, I got to do that. They're not stealing your idea. They're just incorporating it into their business and every single buddy else wins. I love that. Okay. Nikki, are you there?
Yeah.
Cool. Give me the second T.
Trust starts with honesty.
Trust starts with honesty. Honesty with each other, honesty with ourselves. Okay, love that one. All right, Robert, give me the first E, the only E.
Equity, opportunities for all.
Opportunities for all. Right, Keller Williams has multitudes of opportunities, right? I know when Tracy and I started in real estate, I don't think either one of us ever had a dream of being a productivity coach. Right? I know team leader Charles never went into real estate to become a team leader. And I know that because I was his coach. Okay. We actually were coaching him to become a certified trainer and he became a team leader instead. All right. And the last S would be Ross. Who's next? Scott.
It's Sandy, actually.
Oh, well, it says it's Scott. It tricked me, Sandy.
Yeah, it's my husband's laptop. Sorry.
Oh, I can teach you how to change your name on Zoom.
Yeah, I should do that.
All right, give me the last S.
Success. Results through people.
Results through people, right? That's, working with others, right? We're not in it alone, right? If I think about all the things we need to do to get a real estate transaction, right? We need inspectors, we need appraisers, we need lenders, we need title company. Well, can we do a whole transaction without them? No, we need them, right? So that's what that particular part of that is. So let me just see what I've got to make sure I talk about, right? I want to talk specifically about equity. And a lot of this is related farther than I think some of us even think about, right? But in 1968, the Fair Housing Act made it illegal to discriminate, right? When it comes to sales, rentals, and financing of housing. And that discrimination allowed more equity for all, right? So from a wealth building perspective, from a home ownership or a home life, there's equity for all. I would argue there's equity for all also in our company with just opportunities, right? If you want to be Gary Keller when he finally retires, you can go for it, right? You can do whatever you want to do. And we've got so many opportunities in the bigger tree that goes so much farther beyond. So that is that part. All right. Y4C2Ts. You'll hear these, you'll see these. And I love them, right? The win-win, no deal. I mean, that is something that just makes sense all the way to me. Customers are always come first. I mean, they just really make sense in all phases of life. So that's where that is. Okay, Red Day. Red Day stands for Renew, Energize, and Donate. This is the day, it's the second Thursday of May every year. So take out your calendars for next year and just block it off. But Red Day is to honor Mo Anderson, who was our CEO for many, many years. She led our company. She still is a big part of our company at the age of 86. She's I think that's what she is. She's older, but she's still very vibrant. And she's really who brought a lot of the culture that we have to our company. And so we do Red Day to honor her. And that is the day where everybody shuts down their market centers and the corporate and our own individual businesses. And we go out and we give back to our communities. Okay. And it is so cool to just see an army of people in red, and Facebook just blows up with all the different things that people are doing around the world to make our communities better and to give back. KW Cares is a nonprofit out of our corporate offices in Austin, and it is designed to take care and serve our associates who have come across hardship. So some examples of that. Natural disasters. We actually own 3 semis. They're fully stocked and loaded. They're housed in Austin. We have dedicated drivers to them. And when there is a natural disaster, those trucks deploy and go out and help. I had the honor a few years ago when Hurricane Harvey hit Houston. We were supposed to go down to a big conference in Austin called Mega Camp. And because they were using the Austin Convention Center as a place for people to go who lost their homes, we canceled our educational Mega Camp event. And still 6,000 agents from around the world all went to Austin, and we participated in what was called Mega Relief. And we stayed on our own dimes in the hotels in Austin. They would take us by bus down to Houston, and people would go out and demuck houses. I know more about how long water can be in a house before mold starts than I ever want to know. We worked in the food banks, puppy shelters, and went down and volunteered. But there were 6,000 of us on our own dime went down to help. Later that year, another hurricane hit on the East Coast. They took those particular semis and they moved them out to the Carolinas, we beat FEMA in. We were the first ones there. We had our trucks hovering outside Nashville waiting to know where it was going to hit. We were the first ones on the street. Whew. Okay, it's big. Okay. KW Cares will also help associates who are faced with issues like health. I have personally not received, but I am personally involved with 2 agents who are right now getting grants of up to $30,000 to help offset medical bills that they have because they don't have insurance, and one of the members of the family lost their job because of fighting a very extreme cancer. So that's what KW Cares does. Can you tell I'm a little passionate about it? Okay. You can donate money to KW Cares yourself. You can do it many ways. One, how many of you shop on Amazon? If you have an Amazon Smile account, KW Cares is actually one of the companies that Amazon will send a certain portion of whatever you buy, that money gets sent to KW Cares. You can also, out of every single commission check, you can automatically donate whatever you want to, right? It can be $1, it can be $2, it can be $30, it can be $100. You won't miss it, okay? But you can donate directly to KW Cares. It is a nonprofit. In each market centers, I can't speak a lot to the Foothills or Castle Rock other than I know they have the same thing. But we also have a K-Wave Care. So it's for our own market center. And we have a fund of money that is set aside in our market center to help our agents who have come across hard times. We have fed a family during the holidays who were faced with medical issues. We paid for a deductible on a knee surgery. We've helped pay for funeral expenses. Like, we have done things when people in our office have hit things with their families. Okay, that only works if we all participate. Okay, KW Kids can, again, that can be done. By the way, K Avenue Cares, you can also deduct it out of your commission check, or you can just walk into Elizabeth's office on any of these and just write a check and tell her which one you want it to go to. Okay, KW Kids can. This is, it's an organization basically empowering young adults to unlock their greatest potential. Gary actually is heavily involved in this himself. And again, he does scholarships with young adults up to the age of 25 to come and learn from Gary directly about big mindset things and stuff like that. So, whew, okay. Any questions on that? Get involved. That's my answer. All right. I'm going to skip that aha. I don't care. Unless you have one. Does somebody have an aha they want to share after that about the culture?
I know I picked the right firm.
You know you picked the right firm?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Can I do a quick shout out for our current outreach program, which is program related? I just posted another picture on Facebook, guys, on the Facebook group for our coaching group of the pantries at Ralston House, which are slowly but surely being filled up. So please keep putting information out to your sphere, asking them even just to contribute a little bit through Amazon or Target. Stuff gets delivered directly, and they can then do what they're meant to do, which is support and nurture families in great need. So it's a great program. We'd love for you to get involved.
Love it. So for those of you that aren't in the Arvada office, every year the coaching program does an outreach program. So we kind of like do our own little mini Red Day, right? And this year we are following on or adding on to what we did at Red Day, which was go out and landscape a bunch of properties for Ralston House. But they also have a lot of needs with the kids that are there that are going through things that none of us can even imagine. And so Stephanie and a couple of other people in the coaching program took the lead on that. So thank you very much. And so we're doing a 1-week blast to fill their pantry and just games and things for the kids to help them through such a difficult time. So if any of you want more information on that, reach out to Stephanie Taylor and she can hook you up. All right. All right, our next section, we are going to dive into the value and of the market centers and that. So, and if you just look at our corporate awards as a franchise, top franchise for veterans 2021, top female friendly company, top 500 franchises 2022, world's best employers 2021, America's best customer experience 2022, Americans best employers for women and new grads, best employers for diversity, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, training and coaching. We have a lot of it, right? You have coaches and training in your individual market centers, but that's not all they provide, right? And I would encourage you, if you're learning based, you're going to go out and find other places to find some learning. Okay. We have KW Connect, which is, remember I showed you how to get to Ignite. There are videos that are out there that are uploaded every day of stuff that people are teaching. We have regional training later this week. Some of us are going up to Vail to learn at the regional level. We have events, Family Reunion and Mega Camp. Family Reunion this year is going to be February 18th through the 21st in Anaheim. And that is a big global event. Everybody comes, anywhere from 15 to 20,000 people. And then we have Mega Camp, usually in August or September, and that's always in Austin, which there's no better time to go to Austin than August or September if you like the heat. Keller Williams University, that's what's on the screen. KW Enablement, command training, right? Take your tech training in your market centers. All of us have Chris Voorhees. Please, if you're not using Chris, get him busy because he needs to get to work. I'm kidding. KW Maps, we got Bold, right? There are other online group courses that you can take when you're ready. Most of you are brand new, you're not ready, but your coaches will definitely tell you when they are. Okay. All right. We have our technology. We have Command. It's an end-to-end cloud platform for running and growing your business. You can use it. It's included in your fees. What I love is it has an app on the phone. I can now pick up my phone, make a note about a contact. I can go in and I meet somebody at an open house. I can load them into my phone right there and put them on the smart plan before I leave the open house. Okay. They've got the KW Search app. Okay. If you don't know how to get it on your phone, talk to Chris. So market center values. I wrote this for avenues. I would say reach out to Jody and Tracy if you don't know the answers to these things for your own market center. So our KW Cares Red Day, we contributed to Ralston House on May 12th, 2022. We did landscaping. Stephanie talked about our add-on, right? There is nothing wrong with, even in your own businesses, finding a cause that you are in love with and let people know about it. Right? Dave Humphreys, who is one of the OPs and an amazing agent out of Littleton, he is all about the whole world should have access to clean water. And he has a whole nonprofit, and every closing out of his team funds a certain amount of money. And he and his family go down to Africa every year and work on getting clean water into some of these areas, right? He's got a passion, man, right? What's yours? Okay. If your potential clients and know that that's what you're doing, people will be drawn to that. Be authentic. Who's our leadership team at Keller Williams Avenues? And actually everybody on the phone, our operating principal is Mr. Kevin Wilson. In our market center team, our team leader is Charles Coleman. Up in Evergreen, I think that is open right now. And down in Castle Rock, it is Gretchen. I can never pronounce her last name correctly. Market Center Administrators in Keller Williams Avenues in Arata, it's Elizabeth Voorhees. Down in Foothills, it is Val Wilson. And down in Castle Rock, it is Miranda Wilson. You might notice a trend there. Okay, Market Center Technology for all of us is Chris Voorhees. I didn't add them on, but also your leadership teams as your productivity coaches. That would be me in Arvada, would be Jody up in the mountains, and would be Tracy down in Castle Rock. Who's your ALC and what is an ALC? The ALC is Agent Leadership Council. These are the people who help make decisions and kind of move things along in our market center. You have to be in the top 20%. There that number is again, to even be eligible to be a part of the ALC as far as being a leader on it. You can absolutely join any of the committees. We always encourage you to. The more that you're involved in your market center, the better you get into the values and you really start to feel like you belong. Debbie DeWitt runs our culture team. Culture that does a lot of things. They're in charge of Red Day. They're involved in this in the social things that we do, anything that's cultural related. I work closely with Debbie. Debbie and I do a lot of the things with the KW Cares and KW Avenues Cares, as far as when we identify and find out that someone's in need, we get those wheels in motion to support them. Amanda Ryder is in charge of strategic alliances. Now you're going to find this funny because Amanda and Ryan both have strategic alliances and they took it two totally different ways. Amanda's strategic alliance is about community in Arvada. So if some of you got to participate this year on Second Saturday in Old Town Arvada, that was because of Amanda's work with the people in Old Town Arvada. Trick or Treat Street, all of those activities that you see us sponsoring in Old Town is a result of Amanda and her group. Ryan's strategic alliances is about finding vendor partners for all of you. Who are good contractors? Who are the people that can help us, right? So do you all know a person who knows how to do, I don't know, something off the wall, right? Sprinkler systems, plumbers, those are the easy ones, right? But do you all have those kind of connections? Do you even know where to find somebody? What if you need a structural engineer that specializes in a commercial building? Ryan and his team are out finding vendors who can be there so that if anyone from our office needs a vendor like that, you have a contact. Jordan Kessler, agent advocate. I'm not 100% sure what that is, but I know that what it does involve is about, are we doing all the right things in the market center to support our agents? Are there other tools and things that we can bring forward to support our agents? That's what Jordan's team's looking at. Sylvia, career development. I'm just going to call that the education committee, right? Sylvia is looking at what classes do we need to bring to you as newer agents? What do we need to bring to our middle agents, right? Our recent cappers, those people that have been in the business for a while and are moving forward. And then what do we bring to the best of the best? Right? So that's what her organization is. I don't know who all those ALC people are in the other two market centers, but I guarantee you, Val, Miranda, Elizabeth, Tracy, or Jody can tell you. Profit share, passive income. How many of you guys would like to have income and it just shows up in the mailbox? Me, I like mailbox money, as long as it's legal. Profit share. Right? The beauty of profit share is that there's no financial risk to you. There's no legal risk to you. There's no cost to you, no down payment, and there's no phone calls. Well, gee, Margaret, how do I get it? Does anybody know? Has anybody heard of profit share? What is it?
Get people to come in under you, encourage people to become agents. And if they come in with Keller Williams, they can note that you were the person that was their contact, and then you get a percentage of whatever they do for the company.
Pretty much, that's it, right? It's about helping to share the information, right? I loved it. Diane, you said earlier, I know I picked the right place, right? So when you're having those first 2 or 3 transactions, right? Or those next 50, right? You're going to have the opportunity to work with agents who weren't blessed enough to come here. Maybe they didn't know about us. Maybe they heard one of those bad stories that our competitors tell about us, right? So share the information, be authentic, live the Y42Ts, right? And as you're working with other agents, invite them to come to a class, invite them to come to a team rally. Why should we hold this just to ourselves? Because we know there's enough growth in our company for everybody. And the teamwork makes the dream work and everybody wins, right? So great program. And that is correct. The market centers, the owners of our market centers don't keep all the profit themselves. They share it with the people who help grow the businesses. So Stephanie was right. When someone names you as their sponsor, which I hate that word, but the person who was the one that brought them to Keller Williams, when that person has a closing and they've contributed to the profit of the market center, you as the person who sponsored them, get a portion of that. By the way, that goes 7 levels deep. So if I just gave you my tree really quick, I'm at the top. My friend Stacy, who many of you know, would be right there underneath. And then anybody that Stacy brings in would roll up to Stacy and me. So that goes up 7 different levels. So those of you that have recently just passed your licenses and you were in classrooms where you really got to know other people in your group, how many of them came with you to your market center? And for those that chose to go a different direction, please don't recruit out of another Keller Williams office. But if they went to EXP or Caldwell or Remax or HomeSmart or any of those other places, are you talking to them? Are they happy? Are they getting what you're getting? Bring them home. Bring them home. Okay? Ahas. You've had a lot of ahas today. What was one out of that one?
It's been a really stressful 2 weeks. And I think what I see in the aha is KW cares. And it cares everywhere. It's not like a corporate wellness program. We only care about wellness. We don't care about this. We only care about that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We care about the individuals. Awesome. I love that. Anybody else? All right. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I always come back to win-win or no deal, which I love.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I do too. I think that one's my favorite as well. My favorite as well. All right. KW Resources. Woo! We're not just a real estate company. Okay. If you look at the websites, right, we have Keller Mortgage. We have Keller Covered. Okay. We have real estate. We have Keller Offers. By the way, that's our iBuyer program. You know, those companies that advertise on TV, I'll just buy your house and that way you don't have to. We have our own company that does that, right? We have a division, right? We have Keller Covered, which is insurance. We have Keller Mortgage, which is people can get mortgages with no loan origination fee, no loan processing fees. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. But is it a great tool in your toolkit? All day long, right? But when you look at also on the graph to the right, I mean, you look at all of the things that we cover, right? For buyers, we plan and search, we negotiate, there's mortgage insurance, there's closings, there's move-in, upgrades, repair, right? On selling, negotiating, marketing, renovation, options to sell, move out. Like we have all this different stuff going on to support our clients and to support all of you guys. Okay. KW Communities. Communities are subcategories of organizations that you can get involved with, right? And some of them have no charge, some of them have charges, some of them you have to earn your way into. So if you want to be part of diversity, equity, and inclusion, there is a community for that. If you have a heart for commercial, you want to get into the commercial side of real estate, we actually have a whole organization dedicated to KW Commercial. We have KW Land. I think of, and now his name is going to go whoosh because it just did it. Who's the land guy up in the mountains? Bill. If I had my Facebook, I could tell you right now. We have KW Land, right? And Bill, I can't remember his last name, out of the foothills, is actually heavily involved with the Land ALC at the international level. But land people are selling ranches and farms and zillions of acres at a time, as well as 35 acres in Castle Rock, right? That could be maybe what you want to do. Luxury, right? I think all 3 offices have a luxury division. At Avenues, ours is led by Amanda Ryder. So you have to earn your way into luxury. You have to sell 3 homes that classify in luxury in a county. So in Jefferson County, it's 800,000 plus. If you sell 3 of them in 18 months, then you can become part of the luxury division. We have KW Military. If you served, you can join KW Military. If you want to focus on new homes, you can join KW New Homes. Sports and entertainment. These are the people that are working with the professional athletes. We have KW Young Professionals. For those of you that are younger than the age of 30, you can join that or community. A recent one that just came out that I joined is KW Relo. This is relocations where we work with businesses and companies that are doing relocations. We pay to be a part of that one, right? There is something for you if you have an interest. If I didn't rattle it off and you're going, Margaret, I would really like to know, do we have this? Talk to me, talk to your coach, talk to your team leaders, and we will help you find it, okay? Questions? And do we have anyone who's military who has served on this call? Okay, are you part of KW Military?
No.
Will you get with Charles, please? Okay. All right. Ahas, we're skipping that one. All right. Your career vision. Okay, I want you all to close your eyes. Okay. Today, it's September 13th, 2023. Your business is thriving and your life is absolutely everything you've dreamed of. Your customers rave about the experience and value you provide and think of you when they have a real estate need. Your family and friends are so proud of your success and are consistently referring business your way. You are helping others live their dream of owning a home because you are focused on helping them get what they desire. You are building the foundation and momentum for your entire career and gaining relationships and experiences and the income you desire. You are the top agent in your market center, or rookie of the year if you're new. You're poised to hire a part-time assistant to handle your 80% while you take care of the 20% that grows your business. You are on the path too. So before you open your eyes, I want you to think to yourself, what is your path? And when you open your eyes, you're going to write it in your workbook. You are on the path to, you tell me. Everybody got something? Here's your homework, and I will let Jody know for tomorrow that I gave this out, so we'll see what happens with it. I want you to take a few minutes and just write a paragraph tonight and make it a letter to your future self. I want you to write a letter congratulating yourself or telling yourself everything that you've done in the next year. This can be professionally, this can be personally, this can be a combination of both. But when you put it down to paper and you handwrite it, don't type it, Taylor, but handwrite it, okay? It will go into your subconscious. And it is amazing when you pick up that letter a year from now, how many of those things will happen. Okay? Got it?
Yes.
All right. So as you thought about this, right, as I was reading that to you, how did that make you feel? What were your thoughts?
Excited.
Excited, okay.
Powerful.
Powerful. I love that, right? She kind of like to start feeling like I was actually watching here in the room, right? And I was watching body language change. Like people were starting to sit up a little taller, right? Pumping their chests a little bit, right? That can be you. If it's to be, it's up to
you.
Me. Me. Oh, there's always one. Always one. All right. So let's think bigger, right? Let's think bigger. We are going to expand our thinking beyond a year from now, right? So I want you to think about in the future, who and what are you doing for the people you care about, right? What charities are you supporting? How would you make the lives of yourself and everyone around you different? Okay, so for this, you can see the chart that's here. I think it is in the workbook and yours is totally blank. Okay, but we're going to take a minute, and if you just have a blank sheet of paper, that's fine. Just kind of make the little boxes around it and the circle in the middle. But we're going to start with the boxes on the outside. Okay, so what types of things, what are you going to do for your people? What are you going to do for charities? Okay, so they've got some great ideas here. So I just want to share these because it kind of gets the creative juices going, right? This particular individual wants to donate to the cat habitat and they want to give $5,000. They want to get Sarah and Hunter through school debt free. That must be their children. So they want to get through college. So that's going to take $120,000. They want to pay off mom and dad's mortgage that's left of $18,000. What is it for you? Are you going to build a foundation to have safe water all the way around the world? Do you have children or grandchildren that you want to fund their colleges? It can be as simple as you want to take your entire family on a 1-month cruise around the world. And then define your family. It may be not just you and your siblings or you and your significant other and children, if that's applicable. It might be your siblings and your parents and your grandchildren. What organizations make your heart sing? How are we doing? I'm gonna let you go back and finish this later, okay? Because I want to be super cognizant of time because we're just over 2 hours in. Woo! Okay. So I think the important thing here is that, so what you're going to do if you're going to finish, when you finish this, is you're going to put the dollar amount to each of the rectangles out to the side, and you're going to add those up, and that's the dollar amount that goes in the circle. Okay, so what does it take to fund a life like that? Right, and that doesn't probably include just your living expenses, right? I mean, this is just funding that really big life that makes you feel like you got the world by the tail, right? So it's so important that we have a mindset of caring and gratitude along with our goals at the very beginning, right? Because it starts to give us purpose. One time I went to, if you guys want to do an intense thing to do, I went to a coaching skills webinar for session for a week. And our homework the first night was we had to write our own obituary.
Wow.
And it was, at first I was like, oh, that's nasty, right? But what happened was it really makes you tell the story you want people to tell about you. Right. And I do remember it all, but I won't share it all. But part of it talked about, I was a great mom. I was a great sister. I was a great auntie. Right. It talked about the charities that I took about. And so I started discovering about myself. Oh my God. I suddenly discovered who I really wanted to be by writing that. So if you ever want to do something very powerful in your mindset, I'm not telling you to do it, but I will tell you, if you start thinking that way, it does change how you look at things. So just a subject change. Anyway, having these types of thoughts at the beginning gives you purpose. When it's misting on Saturday and you're supposed to go out and have a tent at a community festival and it's raining and all you want to do is stay in bed and drink hot cocoa, you still go to the festival. That's what drives you to carry you over that. And it's not the money. It's the organizations, it's the people that you're making a difference in their lives. So you're always going to have moments that you're going to struggle, and you're always going to have times when you're struggling to find that motivation, right? And it's our goal in Ignite that you learn a lot about the ins and outs of how to find and keep business. But I think it's also super important to keep you involved in why we're doing what we do, right? Every transaction has a speed bump. Some of them have more than others. Okay. But you're going to learn how to get to the closing table. And it's when you get those speed bumps and you just want to throw up your arms and give up, it's these things that are going to carry you through it. Okay. All right. To achieve success, you need motivation and inspiration for doing it. And that's your big why. And these two, that exercise, the one we just did, and trust me, writing your obituary will give you that vision of what that big why might be. And today, it might be different than what it is 5 years from now. I will tell you, mine has changed, right? 8 years ago, it was about my kid and getting her through college. She's standing on her own 2 feet. She's good. Now it's about different things, right? Now it's about building wealth to leave for her and her children. Okay. If you ever get the chance to hear Charles tell his big why, you will get goosebumps. That's all I'm going to say, because I will never say what his is. Okay. Any ahas? Anybody want to share anything really quick? I think it's time to take a quick break. So let's take, we're cruising. Let's take a 15-minute break. So be back at 11:30. Does that sound good for everybody? Don't run away, come back, or I'll miss you.
What was that letter about?
let's try it again. Now, can anybody give me a sound check? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
Because I started talking and I wasn't getting any response, and I figured out it was because I forgot to turn the mic back on.
I can hear you.
So anyway, I kind of wanted to step out here so you could see me a little bit. So that was a lot this morning, right? Pretty powerful couple of hours. And so we were kind of joking here in the room. Did it hit you in your gut, or did it hit you in your heart, or did it hit you both? So as you guys took a few minutes and stepped away, I'd like to hear kind of what you're feeling and what you're thinking. And is it, oh my God, is this woman ever shut up so I can go back to business? Or is it, give me more?
It's motivating.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I agree.
Wonderful. Right? I think the key is to take what you're feeling now as you've been looking inward, right? You've been looking inward onto what can I do with this, right? And I know some of you have started a couple of those exercises, right? With the rectangles, right? And to dream that big to the point of saying, I can do that? Like, I never dreamed I could do that unless I won the Powerball. And now you don't have to spend $1 and have ridiculous, terrible odds. Just go do it. Just go do it. And so the key is that using vision boards and using things in front of you and to remind you why you're getting up every morning. Why you're going to go back out and door knock again and give it a different try. Right? Why you're going to pick up that phone when you really don't want to. Why you're going to say, dang it, I was supposed to call that person a week ago and now it's been 3 weeks and well, I shouldn't do it. And then you just do it anyway. Right? It's this stuff that's going to get you going. Okay? Any questions that you have for me? All right. Let's have some fun. I got to share my screen. Here we go. All right. It's mad at me. Just a minute. Here we go. Where your commission dollars go. So in the last activity, if we got it completely done, we kind of estimated how much we'd like to earn to be able to pay for the things that are absolutely the most important things to you. Right? So we got to get real, right? Gary says that all the time, right? You got to get real about your money and you got to get real about your numbers. Okay. So we got to figure out how commission works. Okay. And so we want to be super transparent because the hardest thing and the worst thing for any of us in leadership in our offices, and I don't know if Tracy's still with us or not, but the worst thing is when a new agent gets their first commission check and they go, that's all. Okay. So I want to really kind of be transparent about it. But these dollars, they get divided up. Okay. So you got your gross commission. And for this exercise, can we just say 3% is the commission? Because it's easier to do math that way. Okay. So you just sold a $500,000 house. 3% of that is $15,000. Yeah, baby, there comes my new car. Well, at least the start of my new car. Okay. All right. All right. But it doesn't all stay with you. And if you're the listing agent at 6%, you go, yes, I got $30,000. Now I got a car. No, don't work that way. Okay. So our commissions get divided up, right? They go to the other agent on the other side. If you're the listing broker and you just wrote a listing agreement at say 6%, you're probably given, for in our example, we're going to say 3% to the agent who brings the buyer, right? So half of it's going to go to that other agent. Then you have other things like your company dollar to the market center, right? We got to pay the salaries of our staff. We got to pay the rent. We got to keep the lights on. We have expenses to be able to support you, right? The market center is in a business as well. Then you got KWRI. You got your franchise fee that goes to KWRI International, right? We got to pay Gary,
right? We got to pay the people who support Gary, right? They're all out there working their tails off for us, bringing us education and all kinds of different things that we haven't even really scratched the surface on today, right? Those are a small piece, honestly. You've got business expenses. You got marketing bills, you got coaching, you got education, you got licensing, you got MLS dues, you got your E&O insurance through your monthly bills, right? You got bills, right? And then there's the taxes. Please, please. Okay, I need to mute somebody. I don't know who it is. If you're on phone, can you please mute yourself? Thank you. Please make sure you're talking to tax advisors. Please make sure you're setting aside money for your own individual taxes. It's important, guys. I see more agents that have to leave this business and go get a job because they spent every dollar of the check they got after their company dollar. And then when April 15th rolls around and then they push it to October 15th and they still can't pay it, they got to go get a job. So make sure you're setting aside amount. If you don't know where to start, set aside a third. But everybody's tax situation is different, right? Some of you have other income. Some of you have spouses. I don't know your situation. Talk to your tax advisor. But remember, you have expenses. You don't pay taxes on a business side on the P&L, right? You have income, you have expenses, and then you have your taxable income. So make sure you're keeping track of every receipt. Keep track of every mile you drive that has anything to do with your real estate business. Oh, I need to go pick up copies at Home Office Depot. Get in your car, track your mileage, because that's business expense. You take your best friend to coffee, that's a business expense, even if you only pay for your own. We talked about real estate. Okay. Kevin is probably going to do classes in all of the market centers. I would expect to see. For those of you that don't know, he's a CPA. He does taxes. So he teaches classes, taxes for realtors. So it's a great class. Trust me, I have an accounting degree and sometimes it goes over my head too, but take the nuggets you get from him and then go take the class next year and take the next layer of nuggets, okay? So, right, this is supposedly animated. Let's see what happens. Oh, okay, so there, half of it goes to the other agent. I didn't know this worked. Part of it goes to the market center, part of it goes to the business expenses, and part of it goes to taxes, and there's your take home. Yep. Now, don't get depressed because you really only, oops, hold on a minute. You really only started with the first half anyway. Yeah. Right? And if you're a buyer's agent, you got the whole thing. It's just the other guy's half of his full one. So I don't necessarily like the graphic because you're always going to have it cut in half. Okay, unless you do both sides, right? Just know you don't get the full cabana. Okay. Questions on that? Because I think that's super important, especially for new agents, so you know what to expect. Okay. All right. I had so much fun making this graph last night. So I am going to be teaching in 2 out of the 3 market centers, the business planning clinic. For Avenues, it's October 11th. It's a Tuesday. So I won't be teaching Ignite that Tuesday. Here's what I will tell you. If you come to Ignite, I will do a separate business planning clinic for you guys. Because I think Ignite is more important than you coming to my business planning clinic. I'm also teaching the business planning clinic on Saturdays. So for the dual career agents, I've broken it down. So there's alternatives for you that are in Ignite on the day I'm teaching business planning clinic here. But I'm also teaching it in Castle Rock. So I'm going to invite all of the Ignite people to come to Castle Rock if you'll come to Ignite on that day. Okay, fair enough? Okay. But this is high level, super high level. It's going to give you a start of what we're going to do. Because one of the things we have to understand is how many houses do I need to sell? So I'm super transparent. Most of you know me, but even if you don't, I don't care. I'll tell you anyway. So my significant other lives 800 miles away. And one of the things he wants more than life is a Corvette. Okay. And it's not a midlife crisis because he's always driving hot rods, but he wants a Corvette. And so I know exactly how much the Corvette he wants is going to cost. So what do you think I did? I said, what's my average sale price? Divided it by the cost of, into the cost of the Corvette, and figured out I needed to just sell 5 more houses this year than I did last year. And I can walk into the Chevy dealership and pay cash for the car he wants. He has no idea that's happening.
It is happening.
It is happening.
I can't wait to see that Facebook post.
He's not a Facebooker, so I don't put him on Facebook either, but I'm sure we'll figure something out. Anyway, my point is, if you want it, just figure out what you got to do. Just figure it out. Okay, so how many houses do I need? So first of all, we need to know the average sale price in our market. So for this example, let's use 500, right? The truth is, in all of these areas, whether it's Castle Rock, the foothills, or down here, the averages are higher than that. It's 600, 700, 800,000. But the reality is, sometimes we have people who aren't buying averages. Right now in my business, I am getting inundated with Andy's friends. Andy is my daughter. She's 25 years old. Her friends are all getting married and they're buying houses. Do you think they're buying $600,000 houses? No, a couple of them, but not all of them. Most of them are buying $300,000 condos, $450,000 houses out in Brighton. Okay. So I always bring conservative when I'm planning. So for this purpose, let's use 500. So if we assume a 3% rate, 2.8 or 3.2, depending on what side, and you're going to charge commissions at a competitive rate, let's use 3% for our planning. So our average commission per transaction, let's use $15,000. Okay. Now we got to figure out how many houses we need. Well, we know based on the exercise we did before the break that we need a certain amount of money. And we're just going to pretend we need 100 grand.
Hold it. Where's the taxes?
This is taxable income.
Thank you.
But we could change this and I could teach you how to do that. But for this exercise, we're not going to.
All right. Thank you.
Most of us think about net income as taxable income because we all came from the corporate world where I made $45,000 a year. So net income of 1,000 equates in my mind to the 45 or 50 I was making in corporate world or more. Okay. So I need to make 100 grand. I know I'm going to have to pay company dollar and royalty, which is a maximum cap of how much?
21.
And I think that's true in all 3 market centers. $21,000. Okay. So my net income is 40% of my gross. Typically, company dollar and royalty and cost of sale is 30%, and then business expense is 30%. But because you guys don't have teams, we don't have to worry about all that cost of sale stuff. So our company dollar royalty plus our net income equals 70% of our gross. Just so you know how I got these numbers. Okay. Expenses are 30% of the gross. So if I know 100,000 plus 21,000 equals 70% of what I need to make gross, I take that 121, divide it by 0.7, and I'm going to get 172,000 and some change, which I rounded up to 173,000. Then I knew my expenses were 30% of my gross, so my expenses are going to be 52,000. Now, honest, how many of you were prepared for me to say your expenses in the first 12 months of your career are going to be $52,000? That's what I thought. Some of you are going, I've never even made that much money myself. What do you mean I'm going to pay that out in expenses? You're running a business, but you have a 70% profit. Has anybody ever worked retail? Do I have any retail people on here? Robert, what's the average profit margin on a car? He ran away.
I knew it.
Okay. So, oh, somebody just chatted me.
He said 7 to 8%. 7
to 8%. Man, can you imagine what those car dealers could do if their profit margin was 70%? When you run a big team, if you run a team, like in our office, the Lantern Home Group, or even my team, our profit margins are 40%. Still not bad, right? I would take that over an 8% at a car dealer. Okay, so I add up those three numbers, the 100, the 21, the 52, and I need to gross 173,000. Well, at an average commission of 15,000, I take the 173, divide that by 15,000, and I get 11.5 transactions, which I rounded up to 12. For those of you that are in Arvada, where I have sat down with you and I've worked your GPS, do you know how many transactions you need to close this year to hit your goal? If not, we need to go back and relook at it because we did it. Okay. So this is basically a mini business planning clinic. You just had it. Kind of. Very mini. Okay. Questions on it. All right, let's do it. Take out a piece of paper. Well, I could be like Jeff Glover. Take out a clean sheet of paper.
Oh.
That's what Jeff says all the time. Take out a clean sheet of paper.
Another clean sheet. Okay.
Take a clean sheet of paper. And at the very top, you're going to write net income goal. Okay. And so put in what your net income is, the amount of money you want to pay taxes on. Let's just keep it consistent. And that's not for just between now and the end either. Just say for the next 12 months. What is your net income goal for the next 12 months? Okay, got it? All right, for number B, does anybody have a number less than 40,000 in A? Okay, so everybody make B $21,000. Then you're going to skip C and we're going to calculate D. So to calculate D, you're going to take A plus B in your phones or in your calculator. So add those two numbers up, A plus B. And you're going to divide that by 0.7. So A plus B equals a number. Let's call it X. And then X divided by 0.7.
And that's D.
That's D. Okay. A plus B equals X. X divided by 0.7 equals D. Got it? Then you're going to take D times 0.3. And that will give you C. D times 0.3 equals C. And if you want to check your math, add A, B, C together, you should get D. If you did it right. Did it balance? Did you say no, Diana? If you need help, holler.
How do we know what our company dollar and royalty cap is?
It's always 21,000.
Oh, okay.
So as long as A is greater than 40, B will always be 21,000.
Thank you.
Yep. So A plus B equals X. X divided by 0.7 gives you D. D times 0.3 gives you C. So A, B, and C added together should also give you D. Now, I round up, right? So sometimes I have to tweak by $500, but it gets you in the ballpark. Everybody got A, B, C, D? Okay. Now take that $15,000 average commission. If you want to go up to $600,000 and do 18, that's fine. If you want to go down to a $400,000 average and do 12,000, that's fine too. I think you're all pretty safe at 15,000. So if my average commission is 15,000, I'm going to take D, divide it by E, and that's going to give me F. So D divided by E equals F.
What's E? 15,000.
Yeah, let's use 15,000. And then I want to hear what some of those F numbers are. Everybody got it?
Did you say D divided by E?
D divided by E equals F. It's a mini business planning clinic.
That's kind of cool.
We go a lot deeper, but. All right, what kind of numbers do we get?
21.
21? 8? 16?
16.
16?
71.
Okay. You all laughed at his number.
24.
24. Okay, so I will tell you this. When he does that, we are all going to be there watching him celebrate being Rookie of the Year for the state of Colorado.
Oh, hell yeah.
There are agents in Colorado as individual agents closing 60 plus transactions a year by themselves. Now,
By themselves or with?
by themselves. Now, they have a huge admin team.
I was going to say, where's the admin or where's the transaction?
They have the transaction coordinators. They have the admin staff doing the marketing pieces. That when you're doing 60, 70 transactions as an individual agent, you are out there and your job is the 20%. Yep. And everybody else does everything else. To the point that he literally says, go ahead. He's got a licensed transaction coordinator, says, I go in ahead and they agree to do this. Their list price is this. We send out the paperwork to the Smiths. And then he just goes and finds the next deal.
Because they were saying in that Max thing that how 100 sales used to be the standard, 100 transactions, and now it's thousands.
And that's you're starting to get into teams. Yeah, absolutely.
But before the standard was like 100.
I coach with Jeff Glover, and his team takes 100 listings a month.
Jesus.
Yeah, but they're a really big team.
How big a team?
Well, he's probably got a dozen admin.
Gee.
Probably 8 to 10 agents.
Okay.
But yeah, Jeff himself does 100 a year. But he's got the admin support to do the staging and the paperwork, and all he does is negotiate. So, yep. All right. Those numbers are all sound very achievable. You just got to do what your daily tasks are, and that's why you come to the business planning clinics. And I will take you there. All right, we did that part. So what was your ahas?
I can tell you that last year when I was taking Ignite as a pretty new agent, a lot of this stuff just seemed impossible to me. And just now I'm looking at a number that actually seems doable for the year.
What's your number, Steph?
10. And I've already done 5.
Yeah.
Right. Congratulations.
So you guys, if I can do it, you can do it.
By the way, did you guys all see Facebook?
Yes, we did.
Did you guys all see who the top individual agent was for the Market Center in the month of August?
Ooh.
It was Stephanie Taylor.
Good job.
Shock.
Right? And I loved Bob's comment on that post. She's always moving forward, right? And if I was to take the time to do an interview with Stephanie, she would tell you the first few months weren't easy. Right? The first few months where I just got to keep moving and it's going to happen and I have to believe it.
And then the middle 6 months were really hard.
Yeah. And then 1 month she had 4 deals under contract at the same time.
Can't control it.
Right? But it's about that consistency, you guys. It's that okay, so today I did this and tomorrow I'm just going to do one more. And tomorrow I'm going to do one more. And so I'm going to deviate a little bit of this high level to those of you that aren't in our market center, but we've been teaching a Facebook model that involves 10 posts a week, 75 interactions on social media with 75 unique people a week, and adding 7 new friends a week. Okay. And that seems it seems like a lot, right? And so we came back this week and I said, how many of you put that into your plan with the intention of doing it? And just about everybody raised their hand. And then I said, how many of you actually did 10 posts this week? And everybody's hand went under their backsides, right? And by the way, I see all of your social media, so I know. And then my next question is, how many of you posted more last week than you did the week before? And almost everybody's hands went up. That's called progress, right? And so if you did 6 posts this last week, then do 7 next week, and then 8. And all of a sudden you'll be there and you'll be like going, oh, this is a piece of cake. Like as an example, last night I'm walking by my front door and I've got flip-flops, tennis shoes, and snow boots. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I took a picture of my shoes. And I made a post that said, the shoes by the front door are a direct reflection of the weather in Colorado this weekend. I got tons of engagement. People laughed, and it was a post. And it had nothing to do with real estate, but boy, did people engage with me. And as you're doing those, you find ways, you start seeing them, if that makes sense. So I'm always progress over perfection. All right. All right, here we go. Daily success. This spells, God, you would have thought I knew that we were doing this, right? So daily success. Okay. We're going to spend, every day in Ignite fulfilling some of this success system. Today does a lot more of me talking. Going forward, there's going to be a lot more of doing. Okay. Because we want to build the habits. And I promise I won't take you past 1 o'clock, but we're going to do some stuff today. So our daily success system in Ignite is to have 10 conversations. A conversation is defined as a 2-way dialogue between you and another individual that in some way has real estate in it. It can be by phone. It can be by text. It can be by email. It can be by Facebook Messenger. It can be through Instagram Messenger or whatever all those other new things are. TikTok. I don't know if you can message in TikTok. I know nothing. 10 conversations a day. We add 10 contacts to our database today. Okay. So if I'm a newer agent, right, and my database is sitting at 0 or 4 or 5, because Elizabeth helped me put those in during orientation, right? Okay, and I haven't added any more. I'm going to teach you today a conversation that you can have with the people that are already in your phone. And then you take those people that are in your phone and you add them to your database. So these 10 can be the same 10 people. Those of you that are out working open houses, okay? So I know Robert was at our open house. He was shadowing with us on Sunday, but we had a list of people that came to the open house. So we had a conversation with them on Sunday, and we turned around and we added them to the database on Monday morning. And then we sent them handwritten notes Monday afternoon. So the same 10 people I talked to, I covered all of these. But every day you want to have 10 conversations, 10 contacts added to your database, and 10 handwritten notes. Those handwritten notes can be just as simple as, hey, I saw it was your birthday on Facebook. Hope you had a great day. That handwritten note can be, it was so great to meet you at the open house in Garland on Sunday. Please let me know if you have any questions about the property or any others that are on the market. It can be, hi, I saw a post on Facebook about blah, blah, blah. Please let me know if there's anything I can do. Right? It can be any of those things, right? Not a text message. Handwritten notes are not text messages. When was the last time someone sent you a handwritten note? If you got one, how would it make you feel?
My friend sends handwritten notes to me all the time, and I love getting them. So I should do the same.
You love getting them because why?
Well, it just feels more, not that a text is an afterthought, but when you actually get a physical piece of paper, card, whatever, you know, they put some time and effort into it.
Exactly, right? Because everybody has their phone within an arm's reach, right? We all do. So sending a text just isn't that special. But I have to go to the store and buy a note card because I may not have some. By the way, buy some. Target, the dollar section. They're cheap. Go to the dollar store. They don't have to be fancy. Right? Get some note cards. Some of the best ones are the plain white ones. Right? You can have some fun. Target's got a packet of them that are colored. They're really fun too. Right? But they had to buy the card. Then they had to sit down and find a pen and actually write. Then they had to address it to me. And then they had to stick a stamp on it.
Yeah. Then they had to find the stamp.
And then they had to carry it to the mailbox. Or they could send me a text. It's kind of like my pet peeve on Facebook. HBD means nothing.
What is that?
Happy birthday.
Oh.
Huh?
What is it? What are the
HBD. So you know when it's somebody's
seen it, but I
birthday?
don't know what that
Yeah, it's somebody's birthday on Facebook, and my cousin Matt does this all the time. HBD. I'm like, wow. Thanks for Karen. You couldn't even type it out, let alone send me a card in the mail. Right? Think about that, right? If you want to be top of mind with the people who you already know, treat them as if they are the new king. Okay. Social media. They say in Ignite 1051.
10.
I'm not even sure. Hold on. 1051. What does it say that is? I don't use that. So I don't know what that is because that's new.
It's 10 likes, 5 contact, 5 specific messages, and 1 contact that's directly to the person via phone.
Perfect. I didn't know what it was. Somebody's taught it. Right? 10 likes. I mean, come on. How long does that take?
2 seconds.
Like, done. 5 comments. Happy birthday. Great photo of the kids. Wow, that's a big fish. How'd the kids grow up so big? Congrats on the new job. Right? Those are easy things to do. And then 1 direct message. I actually in Facebook go to Messenger and write you a note. Hey, Chris, saw that you got a new job. That is so awesome. You're going to rock that.
Yeah.
Okay. I technically prefer my social media one because it gets people more business. The 1075. Everybody's got to start somewhere. Okay. All right. I don't even. Other enrichment offered at the end of each lesson you'll learn more about. So the enrichments is about, I didn't know this is, they've rewritten this. This is all new. I knew the first 3. The enrichments are when we get to the one where we talk about buyers, you're going to get access to a buyer consultation. So one of your daily success systems is taking that buyer consultation, going into Command, creating it in Designs, and making it your own. So when you get that phone call from that buyer, you're ready to go. Okay. Maybe you're going to do the open house one, and maybe that's your jam and you really want to learn that one. And so maybe you're going to develop an entire structure of how you do every open house. If you ever have a chance to shadow Amanda and Nikki or Stacy and I, or the Lantern Home Group and how we do open houses, it is at a very high level. There is a method to it. There is a very specific way, and you're going to learn it in Ignite because I got it out of Ignite. I just plussed it.
How do we get on that shadow list?
So in my market center, when you see Facebook posts and emails that say open house opportunities this weekend, you quickly get a hold of me and say, I need a shadow.
Got it.
Okay. Or you reach out to Amanda and Nikki and say, hey, next time you're doing an open house, can I shadow? Mary Smith and Stephanie also do a really nice open house, right? So there's people that you can shadow to watch what they do, okay? If open houses are your jam, go watch a YouTube. It's by my friend Chris Suarez, S-U-A-R-E-Z. Again, that was S-U-A-R-E-Z. Chris built $1 million business out of open houses when he moved to Portland and knew nobody. And he's got a really great system. It's actually a lot of what I do, okay? The other parts of your success system are going to be the appointments, the agreements, and closings, but we're going to start there. One of the things that they don't have on here that I would add to your daily success system is to preview 10 homes a week. There's no better way to get to know your market than to be out looking at houses. It's super easy. You go into RE Colorado, you find a few you want to go look at, you go do a realtor preview. Make sure you book it as a preview, not a showing. Okay, take a buddy, take your accountability buddy. 2 or 3 of you get together and say, hey, let's go look at all the houses that are on the market in Littleton or wherever you are. One of the tricks that my friend Karen Prawl did when she was an agent many, many years ago is she would look at the MLS before she left the office and she would go, okay, what houses are for sale between my house and the office? And she would book previews on the way home. So she'd leave the office, say at 3:30, 4 o'clock, and she would go look at 2 or 3 homes that were kind of on her way home. And then she would also book previews for the next morning on her way in. So she pretty much knew every single house that was on the market between her personal residence and her work. Now, it was never a straight line, right? She'd do some little bebopping around, but it made sense to know those. I'm also going to share with you one of my favorite Karen Prawl tricks, not tricks, tactics. So Karen's single, okay? She had lots of female friends. All of them were renting, okay? And so what she would do is she would get an idea of what she knew about what their rent was. So let's pretend their rent is $2,000 a month. She would go to her lender partner and she would say, if someone was going to buy a house and their payment was going to be, say, $1,900 a month, what would the purchase price be with a 5% down payment? And said lender would say, well, it would be about this. So then she would go find houses in the communities where her friends liked to live, and she would find homes that were in that price point. So let's say that particular price point was $400,000. She would call up her said friends and she would say, hey, Diane, this is Margaret. I'm going to go out and I'm going to go preview some homes tomorrow. You want to come with me? Because I just don't really want to go alone. What do you think they said? Yes. So she would pick them up and they'd get their Starbucks and they would go look at these houses. And as they're walking through the house, she would say things like, man, it's amazing to me. They can own this house for $1,800 a month. And they'd go to another house. And then they'd go to the next house. And she'd say, wow, this one's only like $2,050 a month to own this house. Now, what's Diane paying for rent? $2,000. And I'm showing her houses that are less. Guess who just decided she wanted to buy a house?
Don't know. Gosh, who would that be?
I mean, it's brilliant, right? But sometimes our friends and family don't understand what they can do. And so we can't just puke real estate at them, right? But if we can find a way to show them, not all of them bought a house, right? But it worked. It absolutely worked. So just another idea. All right, I diversed. Do not call. Anybody heard of this? Okay, Telephone Consumer Protection Act and do not call lists. Please do not call someone that's on the do not call list. Now, you can subscribe to it for free yourself. The market centers, some of them have access to them, some of them don't. Here's what I would tell you is that if you're focused on your sphere, there are people who already what? Know, love, and trust you, right? You're not going to have an issue there, right? The places that you're going to have an issue is when you're calling expireds, FSBOs, circle prospecting around neighborhoods, okay? Because even at open houses, people gave you the phone number, okay? So if you're going to do expireds, if you're going to do for sale by owners, if you're going to do circle prospecting, my advice would be to use a service. So there are services out there that will give you expired lists based on zip codes or cities or however you want to do it. It's a cost, it's an expense, right? But if that's an area that you're looking to go into your business, use a service who bumps the phone numbers up against the do not call list.
Do you have an example?
An example of what?
Of a company that does that service?
Land Voice, Mojo, Vulcan. There's a host of them.
What was the first one?
Land Voice.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yep. And then you can add dialers onto that stuff too as well. If you're going to circle prospect, we have the cold directory in the coaching program where you can say, I want all of the phone numbers in an area. So let's say that you're doing an open house at 123 Beach Street and you want to call the neighbors that are around Beach Street within a half a mile. You can send an email to Stacy on my team and say, can you pull me a call list for all of the homes a half a mile within 123 Beach Street? And she will pull that and then she will send you that list and it's bumped up against the do not call list. So it will identify those for you. So the key is to be using a service. If you have a random number that you want checked, just reach out to Stacy and we will look it up. Okay. But again, if you're not calling expireds and circle prospecting, you're probably going to be okay anyway. All right. All right. We need to say this. Oh, every day in class, I'm supposed to say this exactly. Okay, close enough. Don't anybody watch the recording. Powerful conversations get results. Our daily success system requires that we talk to people every day. It's important to know what to say, and I'm going to help you with that. We are going to help you with that throughout Ignite. Okay. We will have conversations of care and gratitude. We're just going to call and check in with people, offer value and assistance. Notice I didn't say you're calling to ask them, did you need to buy or sell a house? Right? We used to have a script back in many, many years ago at Keller Williams. It was, so who do you know that's looking to buy a home, sell a home, or invest in real estate? Okay. We don't say that anymore. No, because there's a better way to gain confidence and to stay in touch with people. So when they think of real estate, they think of you. Our conversations strengthen relationships. They strengthen friendships. Okay. And that's really what this is about, is strengthening relationships. So, you know, words are powerful, right? So when you think about different careers and different jobs, right? A doctor learns anatomy before working on patients, thankfully, right? Well, as agents, we have to prepare to have meaningful conversations with people. We have to prepare. We have to prepare a mindset and we have to know what to say. Using a purposeful language will get you to the end point, right? You will get to where you want to carry the conversation. Scripts and dialogues are not designed to trick somebody into doing something they don't want to do. Scripts and dialogues, the reason I love them is because I already know what to say. I don't have to be thinking about how I'm going to say, and I can actually listen to what you're saying to me. Because I already know I already know based on what you say, I already know how to react to it. Okay. I mean, come on. Tom Cruise truly is Maverick, right? If you met Tom Cruise in real life, he really is Maverick, right? Or does he only get me to believe it for 2 hours?
2 hours.
Does maverick mean short in some sort of strange online?
Stephanie, you and I are going to the movies on Sunday.
Yes, it does, but full of confidence.
Okay. We really believe he's maverick. We really believe Brad Pitt. We truly believe Jennifer Aniston or whoever they are, right? We believe they are who they are on the screen. Okay. Knowing and practicing what to say helps you not stumble over your words, right? It provides you credibility and it allows you to provide value to people. Okay. On Sunday at the open house, I had a couple walk in and they asked me about the market. And I was able to address it super quickly because I knew exactly how to respond when somebody says, so how's the market? Or I heard the market's really slowing down. I heard the market's crashing. I know how to address it because I've practiced it and I've learned it. Okay. When you ask powerful questions, you suddenly find out their motivations. Okay. It's not about, oh, you want to move to Portland? Great. Okay. So now as far as staging, no. So what takes you to Portland? Your job. Oh, what do you do for there? When do we need to have you there by? Do you need help finding a property in Portland? What does it mean to your family if we don't make that deadline? What if we don't make that timeline? Why is that timeline important? Right? To continually ask those questions allows us to understand what the client needs. The greatest compliment I ever got on a listing consultation was they said it was a relo deal, and they told the relo company she was the only one that talked about us. She was here for an hour and all she ever asked about was us. We had to ask her for her results. I didn't go in for an hour and talk about, I am this and I am that and I am this and I am that, right? But I was so focused on them and the timing and making sure we had it right for the kids and with the school transfers and all of that. It was all about them. And let's be honest, who do people want to work with? And who do they want to talk about? And who's the most important person in the room? Them, right? It was the ultimate compliment, even though I didn't get the deal. All right. So practicing allows you to be prepared. It allows you to ask questions in a way that people will be able to quickly share the information you need to better serve them. And the practice helps you gain confidence. And it also helps you internalize it. Okay. There will be a time, because I already know what some of the limiting beliefs are to dialogues. That doesn't sound like me. I don't talk that way. I would never say those words. But when we practice the scripts, we practice them exactly the way they're written. Over and over and over again. And at some point, you will internalize them. And then what happens is you'll be out sitting in front of a client, and all of a sudden, what comes out of your mouth? And you go, oh my God, I sounded just like Margaret, or I sounded just like Charles, or I sounded just like Tracy. And it's because you've heard it and you've practiced it, and now you are able to say it and it sounds logical to you. It sounds normal to you. But I will tell you, the first time we do a script practice, you're all going to go, I don't sound like me.
Well, the other part of that that's real interesting, because we went over that with Charles on that, is just how much you'll make it yours. It won't be that script. There'll be things that you add that are part of your personality, the way that you talk to people.
Yep, you will layer things in, but the more you learn about the language of sales, right, and the art of that, is that you will find you really don't do as much of that as you think you will. If you truly learn the script. So like we're working right now, we're redoing our listing consultation. We're using Jeff Glover's word for word because, hey, he sells 100 house listings a year. It's got to work. So I'm going to say it just like Jeff says it. Why would I alter it? I'm going to make it mine by learning how to say it the way he says it. Same way Tom learned how to talk like Maverick. I know for whatever reason, this group doesn't like that example.
No, I like it a lot.
I don't want to see it.
Well,
the movie of the year was out this year. Do we need to have a team bonding and go to Top Gun?
Oh, and not only that, but Harkin, they said that was continuously, that's the longest run movie they've had since pre-COVID. So
yeah,
like Thor will come in and then it goes out. Maverick still continues to. It's a good movie.
Yep. Okay. All right. So I want us to talk about these type of phrases. Okay. So the first one, did you find everything you were looking for? Go ahead, look around. Please let me know if I can help you. I see you admiring that big screen TV. Are you looking to get one for the big game this weekend? Hopefully they didn't buy one for last night's game. Okay. Have you ever heard a phrase like that? Something similar?
Mm-hmm.
Here's my favorite one. Would you like fries with that?
Of course.
Okay. So you've heard those, right? You've heard people say those things. And that, do they sound insincere when they say them? They do? They sound insincere.
They just sound flat.
Yeah.
It's just
Manipulative.
go.
Yeah, robotic.
I'm saying these to say them. Go ahead, look around. Let me know if
I think it depends on what generation. I mean, I remember shopping when this was, and working in retail when these were just the natural things you said. Anymore, if you get somebody to even speak to you while you're going through the checkout, it's kind of a miracle. Yeah.
Well, take the bottom one off. I don't really like the bottom one, but did you find everything you were looking for? I'm sorry, but every time I check out at King Soopers, I get asked that question.
Mm-hmm.
Are they really being, I mean, yes, they're taught to say that, but does it come across to you as the customer that they're insincere?
I think sometimes.
It doesn't to me.
Depends on the delivery.
Yeah. It's rude, but for the most part, it's just like, make eye contact. Just feel like you're saying it for real.
Well, and they have to say it over and over. Customer in front of you, they said it, then they say it to you, and then as you're leaving.
What is that sandwich shop? The Firehouse. Has anybody ever been there?
Yes.
I can't even go into one right now. It is just so, and they're taught to add different cadence and when they say it, but everybody says it. And after a while, they're just saying it.
How many of you go to Chick-fil-A? Any Chick-fil-A eaters?
Oh.
In the drive-through lines? Okay. Wait.
Okay, Chick-fil-A. What are some of their common phrases that you hear?
Oh,
my pleasure.
My pleasure.
My pleasure. Yeah.
One thing I really like that they do, ask you for your name.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Right? But think about what you guys are saying, right? Now, when the clerk at King Soopers, who I know is taught, did you find everything you were looking for? Yes, it's a script. Yes, they say it to everyone. And if they look me in the eye or have some kind of tonality that sounds like they actually care, it comes across different than if it's to find everything you wanted.
Yeah. Yep.
Right? And those of you on the screen didn't see me put my head down and just start scranning. But right, it comes down to how you say it.
Yes.
Right? And I think that's the thing I want you to take home is that I know when they say my pleasure at Chick-fil-A, I know it's a script, but I actually believe 90% of them.
And again, however they're trained there, and the volume that they do seem sincere. Like even the people that walk up to take your order, there's as I think as opposed to King Soopers where I don't know if it's 100% buy-in. But I do agree with you. Mm-hmm. It really does come down to, do you believe in it? Did you buy into that script? Do you?
Mm-hmm. But they're a tool.
Yes.
Right? They're a tool, right? And like you said, at Chick-fil-A, and you're right, because I went through the Chick-fil-A line the other day. The person at taking my order asked my name. And when I got to the front desk, they asked for my name to verify they had my order right. right? Because those things are flying, right? Talk about quality customer service, right? And so how do you do that, right? How do you bring that into that? And so those are some of the things, right? That's part of the powerful conversation, even though they're trained, right? And, you know, if you ever work at open house with me, and I don't know if Robert's back or not, but you hear me say the same thing over and over and over again. And I will tell you, I believe it comes across sincere, right? Welcome to the open house. My name is Margaret, and I'm going to put my hand out. I still shake hands. I'm old school, right? Right? And I'm going to get their names, and I'm going to say, it's good to meet you, and I'm going to repeat their name, and I'm going to repeat their name. And then my very next question is, so I always want to check to see which of my marketing items are working today. How did you find us? Right? Did my 20 signs work? Was it the Facebook ads? Was it only the fact I put it in the MLS and it's syndicated to Redfin? Like, what worked? I'm asking those same questions over and over and over again. And I hope and pray that every single person that walks into my open house believes that it's sincere.
Do you keep the data? Or is it just part of that?
Depends on how busy we are.
Yeah.
Because there's always two of us at an open house. If I'm asking the question, Stacy's making the notes on the side.
Okay.
But honestly, I'm not asking because I really care. It's a way to start a conversation, right? Because I want the conversation not to be oh, are you coming to buy a house today? Can I help you? Right? The conversation is, I want you to get comfortable with me, right? So I'm wondering if you could help me. How did you find me? Was it the signs? Was it the MLS? Was it the internet syndication? Did you see it on Facebook? Did you see the signs? Like, did you see the white rider when you drove by 2 days ago? Like, what brought you here? Right? And then my very next question is often, so tell me, do you live here in the neighborhood, or are you guys looking for a house? I say the same thing almost every time.
And then doing that with are you living here, or do you live in the neighborhood looking, right? So the neighborhood and the neighbors will just tell. They just love to share about the neighborhood.
All right. Well, if you tell me you're a neighbor, I'm saying, well, how long you lived here? Like, I got a whole list of questions that I have in my brain locked away, that if you're a neighbor, I'm going down this path, and depending on what you say, then I'm going to go this direction, this direction, this direction. If you're shopping for a house, I got a whole nother series of questions that are going to identify if you have an agent or not without asking you. And they're all going to be phrased in such a way. I'm just trying to find out about you. Just trying to find out about you. That's all. Okay. So, purpose of conversations. What is a sphere? It's more than just a shape. Okay. It's more than just a shape. So in Ignite, we talk about having conversations with people we know and have a strong relationship with, and our goal is to stay in contact with them. Those people are called, and you're going to hear them called different things. They're called your sphere. They're called your sphere of influence. They're called your circle of influence. They're called your SOI. Any of those words all mean the same thing, right? And your sphere of influence are people who you have met, and they know, trust, and respect you. So the people that walked into my open house, would I call them my sphere yet? No. But once I get into relationship with them, they move to sphere, right? Okay, because these are people who know, love, and trust us. Okay, so the first place to find your sphere is in this little tiny thing we all have within arm's reach. We all have a sphere in here. We got phone numbers. Okay, just checking. All right. So let me ask you this. Would you prefer to do business with people you already know and trust, or a complete stranger?
Somebody you know and trust.
Me too, right? If I'm going to go out and buy a car, if I know somebody who's in that industry, I'm probably going to go to them first, even if they don't sell the model of car I want, right? If I'm going to go buy a boat, I'm going to go to somebody I know and trust. right? Financial planners, right? If you know one, you're probably going to use them first. Why would realtors be any different? It's the biggest investment in most people's lives ever. Right? And sometimes, even though, let me throw this limiting belief out there. Well, my friends won't use me because they know I just got my license. Anybody got that one swirling in your head once in a while? People who know me won't use me because they know I don't have any experience. I haven't sold a house yet. Nobody's got that one going in your heads? Wow. All right. Then we don't have to talk about it because most of the time we do. Most of the time we do. Okay. According to the National Association of Realtors, also known as NAR, 66% of sellers and 41% of buyers found their agent through a friend, neighbor, or relative, or used an agent they had worked with before. Think about that. 66% of sellers use an agent that they got referred to them or that they had used themselves. And 41% of buyers. I'm thinking that my sphere's got a pretty big opportunity to help me grow my business. Right? Now, I'm also going to tell you your testimonials as you grow your business, because these crazy millennial generations, right? They don't trust anybody and they go look it up on the internet. Right? So you're going to want to build those testimonials. Now, some of you are now going to go, well, that's just great, Margaret. I need my first sale. And now you're telling me I need a testimonial and I don't even have a sale. How am I going to do that? How many of you have worked somewhere else? How many of you have people who would recommend you based on what you did in your old job? Why can't those people recommend you in real estate? So, true story. My first testimonial page included LinkedIn reviews that were written by executives of the company that I worked with, but they didn't say, Margaret is a fantastic vice president of sales operations. They said, Margaret has a high attention to detail, is a strong communicator, and extremely proactive. It's a pleasure to work with her. Hello, right? Who are those people in your world that would go out on Google, on your Google My Business? By the way, if you don't know how to do that, you need to talk to Charles or Chris, right? How many of those people would go out on Google for you today and write a review like that? How many of you who come out of the tech world where we all had LinkedIn, right? How many of you have reviews on LinkedIn just like mine that would flow over to, I could pull them out and put them in my consultations as testimonials about who I am. The best part was when my former realtor wrote in there that we had worked together on multiple real estate transactions, and I got to use that one. Nice. Yeah, that was good luck, right? Think outside the box on these things, right? Don't let your belief of I'm new, I don't have one, stop you from asking people to get one. Okay. All right. So it costs nothing to call people you already know, right? It requires fewer contacts and less effort to ask them for business or to refer than it is to go out and meet strangers. You will be more efficient with people you know than you will be on people you don't know. So here's some numbers for you. For every 100 people that you know that you are in relationship with, so you're in communication, 8% of them or 8 of them will either transact a real estate in the next 12 months themselves, or they know someone who will that they can refer. 8%. So 8 out of 100. People you haven't met, it's 4. So where are you going to focus your time if you need to get business fast? People you know. Or put yourself in places where people who are getting ready to buy houses are. So I don't know if he's back online with me or not, but I'm going to tell Robert's story to where I can. So Robert said to me, I need to get some stuff happening quickly. And as we all shared earlier today, he did. Okay, he's got some stuff happening. So what did he do? He went out to he went out to car dealerships that he used to work with. He went out to car tire places that he used to sales rep for, and he popped into those places where there are people that know him. People that know him. Just went in. Hey, I was in the neighborhood, thought I'd pop in and say hi, how y'all doing? So it could be like this room. There could be 4 or 5 of them, right? In one room. And they're like, so Robert, what are you doing now? Well, I went and got my real estate license and I just launched my real estate business. Wow, that's awesome. We were, my wife and I were thinking about buying a house. Ding, 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 ding. He beat the numbers. 4 out of 50. He's actually right on track. 4 out of 50, 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. Or 8 out of 100. Right? So my point is, these are the people we want to be talking to. But we want to do it in such a way. So flip over your papers because I can see that you all have been writing all over them. So I want you to answer this question. Okay? I want you to think for just a couple of minutes. No, the good news is you only have to put up with me for 24 more minutes. So who do you know going through a life event that may lead to a move? So let's think about life events that lead to moves. Babies. Divorce.
Job
death,
relocation.
Job relocations.
Marriage.
Aging parents. Retirement. Who do you know that's going through some of those things? Kids moving home from college. Dang, I thought they were gone. And they came back and they brought a husband and a kid with them. Now we need a bigger house. Right? Who do you know? Think about the people you know on Facebook, past work life, church, clubs you're a part of. This is where social media becomes your friend, right? Because people post about that stuff, okay? Who in your world does not know you are a real estate agent? Think about that for a minute. Who do you know that doesn't know you're in real estate? The list is probably longer than the piece of paper you have in front of you. For many of you. That's okay. Oh, I just heard a page turn. I love it. The last one. Who have you not spoken to in the last 2 weeks? Okay. So those are some triggering questions. I can give you a whole lot more, right? But be thinking about those, right? Who's, especially that life event one, right? That one is huge. Who have I not spoken to? For those of you that are on here and you're newer and you use social media, have you put your job in social media that you are a realtor at the name of your brokerage? Whether it's Keller Williams Foothills, Keller Williams Avenues, or Keller Williams Action. That's what Castle Rock is, right? Action. Okay. If you haven't done that, that's your first step. Your second step is when you get business cards in your name badge, take a picture of them. I took pictures of shoes to talk about weather. Take a picture of your new name badge and your business cards and post it on your Facebook page. As I told some of you and you laughed at me, and please, these words are not meant to offend anyone, But if I was doing that today, my caption would be shit just got real. Okay. But maybe you say something like, wow, it's really happening. This is the most exciting day I've had in a long time.
I did that, and I also took that same picture for the people that weren't on my Facebook and then texted to everybody.
Love it. And what happened on your Facebook when you posted it?
Oh, so many people were like, congratulations.
Yeah, people were excited for you. Now what do? Here's what you do. If you haven't made that post yet, here's what you do. People took the time to comment on your post, you better go like it. So you go like their comments. Here's another algorithm trick for social media. Don't like and comment back to back. So you make a post about, I just got into real estate, or Stephanie can absolutely leverage her, her great accomplishment for August, right? And people are going to comment. So she's going to go out and she's going to like the comments this morning. And then later this afternoon, she'll go back into social media and she'll make a comment on everybody's comment. So if they said, congratulations, I'm so excited for you, she's going to say something like, thanks, I'm really looking forward to this. Right? Because now the algorithm is seeing you engaging back and forth with people. And now every single one of your posts will come up higher on their news feeds. Okay. So if you're going to post and people engage with you, you need to engage back. Okay. It works, guys. I cannot tell you how crazy it works. All right.
But if everybody says the same thing, don't you say the same thing? I mean, like I can't find 150 ways to say.
But you might mix up like 6 or 7 different things. Like if everyone says congratulations or how exciting, you can say things like, I'm super looking forward to it. Dreams do come true. Like you can find other things to other than just go, thanks. Yeah. Right. It's going to be a blast. Right. You'll probably find somebody in there. Okay. How to catch your sphere on the move. This is fun. Okay. So we know that there are trends in people's lives. Right. And I'll bet if we all sat and took that whiteboard over there, and I took all 18 of us that are on this Zoom call today, and we went through that and we went through certain life events, we're going to find that they're on similar timelines. Right. I graduated from college, bought my first house in a certain level of time frame. Then I got married in this time frame. And then I had kids. And you're going to start to see trends. And we know that those trends also align with when people move. Okay. So this graph shows you when people are most likely to move. Now, this is according to the National Association of Realtors. I would argue, I believe, depending on the demographic, some of this has moved forward to the left, being sooner, and some of it has moved to the right, being longer. So all of these are averages. Okay. But on average, an average person moves every 7 to 10 years. The peaks are the moment a person moves. So at the top of the graph, that is when they moved. They graduated from college, they got their first job, they got married, they bought a house. 7 to 10 years later, they got too many kids, they need a bigger house. 7 to 10 years later, kids are going to high school, we need a bigger house. By the way, that's true. Families whose kids are migrating from middle school to high school, the parents are ready for a bigger house. It's mind-boggling to me. Anyway, it's proven. Your job is to have a relationship throughout their home ownership, so you are top of mind when they begin to consider another move. So you'll notice in that middle graph, you've got the down point, which is when they're least likely to move. But then you got these little stairs all the way back up. They could move at any single point in time in there. Okay. I have clients that I have sold 3 homes to in 8 years. Yeah. Nice big ones too. The last one's 4 million. Right? It's not my world, right? I've got other people, they've been in their house for 17 years. They're not going anywhere, so they say. But I know if I found them the right house, they'd go. Okay. So you always want to be aware. If you don't talk to them for 8 years after your deal, so you close a buyer. Let's pretend you got your first buyer and you've got them closed. Okay. Let's just not talk to them for 8 years because they're not going to move in that 8 years. Wrong. You probably missed them. They may have moved at least once, if not twice. Okay, depending on their situation. Plus, you missed out on all of their referrals, right? So, how would you feel if your friends only called you when they wanted something from you? Would you think they cared about you? No, not at all, right? Do you trust people that you think care about your money more than you do? No. No, no, no. Do you want to talk to them and discuss business with those kind of people? No. No. So if you only call them based on where you think they are in this move cycle, they're not going to use you because you don't care. You don't make them feel important, right? So having those conversations with people consistently over time makes them feel like you really do care. And we do. I mean, it sounded kind of bad the way it came out of my mouth, right? But the reality is we do care about people, right? And we care throughout the whole transaction, right? So add to your list. Who do you know that just recently moved? Who do you know that is thinking about moving or that somewhere's in the middle? You're building your hit list. Well, like James Bond, you need a hit list. 007. You all believed he was real on the screen too.
Well, it depends on which one. That was Roger.
I was about to say,
Here's the second. The latest ones, maybe not.
Yeah,
More
definitely, right? He was, right? Okay, so conversations with our sphere. I love this slide. Don't fear your sphere. Come on, they're your people. So we have a conversation outline, for lack of a better term, and the acronym is FORD. Now, I always laugh because my dad drove Fords and I always said they were found on the road dead. Okay. My cousin says they're first on race day, but I'm not talking about the car. I'm talking about the things that people want to talk about. F is for family. O is for occupation. R is for recreation, and D is for dreams. Okay, so if you're going to have several conversations with people, right, you're always going to talk about something that falls into this category. Okay, and so I'm going to do a model. Stephanie, are you still with me?
Said that she had to go to a funeral, I think.
Oh, yeah, I don't read the chat when I teach, so Taylor had to leave to go to, boy, these guys are rocking it. Okay. All right, Becky, it's you and me. I'm calling you. We know each other, and don't be a jerk to me. Okay. So and this is hard because I'm teaching you guys how to role play and none of you have ever done it. So I'm going to say ring, ring. You're going to say hello and then just follow me. Okay. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Becky, it's Margaret Gade. How are you?
Very good. How are you, Margaret?
I am good. You know, I was flipping through my phone the other day and I saw your name and I was like, it has been forever since I talked to Becky. And so I was determined I was going to find time this week to call you, and here I am.
Well, hey, good to talk to you.
You too. So how are things going? What's going on?
Well, I just got my real estate license.
You did? That is super exciting. What made you decide to go that way?
Well, I retired from my engineering job at Lockheed and moved to Colorado to be near family. And I've always loved looking at houses. So I decided to just go do this as a income.
Fabulous. That's super, super exciting. Okay, I'm stopping the role play. So she did what I want all of you to do. Okay. So she talked about she got her real estate license, right? Now, but did you see how she answered me, right? She told me she wanted to talk about her occupation. Okay, so I would have dug deeper into the, wow, so how did Lockheed handle it when you left? Because I know you had a really, like, we're going to be friends, right? And I'm going to ask some questions about Lockheed, right? But what you're typically going to hear are things like, oh my God, it's so busy at work, right? Or if you're at Lockheed right now, it's about the stupid rocket ship couldn't go up, right? And so they're going to talk about things and you can engage with them. And had I kept going with her, at some point she would have said what to me?
Well, how are you doing?
How are you doing? Or how's your job? Where are you working now? Right? If she would have said, oh, the kids are off to college and we're like trying to figure out how to do this empty nesting thing. Well, now what does she want to talk about?
Family. Her family.
Her family. And if she says, wow, we just got back from the most amazing Alaskan cruise. We've been planning it forever. And hubby and I just had the best time. What does she want to talk about?
Recreation.
Recreation. Or she might say, oh, I don't know. I'm still reeling from last night's game. Right? We might talk about recreation, right? Okay, dreams is tough. Sometimes I don't really get it's hard to do dreams. But when you see it from someone, you will hear it. Sometimes they might talk about, you know, we're trying to put together a big cruise or, you know, who knows what it is. But it's typically, most people hit FOR. Okay. So you just have to ask questions about it. Right. And if Becky wouldn't have immediately gone into that, she'd just gotten her real estate license. Right. We would have done it. And then I would have said exactly what she said. I retired and I went ahead and got my real estate license. It's something I've always wanted to do. And then the next questions was, what did I ask her? So why'd you do that? And if I would have kept going, what do you know what the next question would have been?
How do you like it?
How's the market? That would have been the logical one of the next questions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the key to Ford is that you have and engage with people by just asking them questions. How's your family? I saw on Facebook you got a new grandbaby. Right? The line about scrolling my phone and saw your name and realized we hadn't talked in a long time is probably true. Or I could have easily started it with, hey, I saw on Facebook that you just had a brand new baby and I just had to call and talk to you. That is so cool. How's everybody doing? Not asking her, do you want to sell a house today? Yeah. Right? So here's what we're going to do. Because what is one of our 5 things we need to do every day? Practice. So what I'm going to do is in the room, we got 2s. So I'm going to take those of you that are on Zoom, I am going to throw you guys into a breakout room of 2 or 3 in each group. And then you're going to do a quick back and forth like Becky and I did. You got it?
Got it.
Anybody scared?
Terrified.
Well, here's the good news. You're with each other. You can't hurt each other.
Oh, that's true.
I just have to get to the right tool. Okay, breakout rooms. I'm
Where
good.
do we get the scripts?
Hopefully I gotta look. They're in your books, I think.
Yeah. Very good. They're at the very end. There's an appendix with a bunch of scripts in them.
Oh, I
Margaret,
need to go print them. Yes.
It said that on in the PDF that they're available on KW Connect, but I went there and they're not available yet.
My guess, Mark, is that because this is a new version of Ignite, if you go out to KW Connect and look at the old Ignite that's called Ignite Labs 2.0, there are some script books in there. But let me find the new script books and I will make sure this group has them, okay? So let me throw you guys into some rooms so you guys can have some fun and practice together. So let's see.
Use an Ignite book. In the invitation, in that big block, there is a link. And in that link, it takes you.
All right, guys, have some fun. I'll be back in 5.
Where you can download a PDF that says Ignite 2022.
Okay.
It's like 366 pages.
Yeah, that's the link that the guy sent us.
Yeah, okay. That's what I'm on.
So. Oh, not bad. Okay. Oh, there we go. Nobody ran away from home. All right.
All right.
Team up.
All right. Ring ring.
Hello.
Hi, how you doing?
How you doing, Liz?
I haven't talked to you in a long time. What you been doing?
Been actually really busy. Yeah. And got my real estate license.
As a reminder, what do you read? You're top to bottom. You started in the kitchen.
Yeah. I mean,
it was good. Just Sunday. Yeah, just ready to start.
yeah. So what?
Are you doing ceramic floors?
Like, no, she's gonna.
Sorry, brains.
I remember that name.
What drove you to real estate?
Well,
Not wood.
Fiberboard?
I know. Yeah.
But it's just like hardwood floors?
Yeah.
I've seen. And you're, are you doing granite?
So where'd the girls go?
One's in Nebraska and one's in Tennessee.
Oh my
So will it,
goodness,
will it
we're in
match the floor?
Tennessee.
The same color? Or?
She's going to
It's gonna be like a
Oh my goodness. And the other one in Nebraska is.
I got the old yellow linoleum. And
Oh, how did the wedding go?
That was great.
So I was like, it's time.
Yeah.
so what have you been up to?
So was the wedding here or?
No, it was
In Nebraska?
It's been like
Oh my goodness. Well, congratulations on the wedding.
Yeah. And what have you been doing?
Mhm.
Well, we're gonna pretend this is a new conversation. Ring ring.
So what's the Monday?
Oh.
Too.
Much. What have you been doing?
Trying to learn.
I got my real estate license in June.
Oh, wow. When did you do that?
Everything.
I had just about had it with
How are you doing?
working in technology, and when I got hit with the layoff
same
back in
thing. I got
March,
my
I said, you know what?
I finished school.
Better
I'm
time.
recently in there.
Never been.
And so, you know, I'm kind of,
So I was
you know,
really
kind of excited
excited.
about that opportunity. Like, you know, see, sometimes with somebody will be like, oh,
I'm an
ask me
economist
about
by
that
heart.
market too. And I'm
I
always like, well, it
always
depends.
loved how
You're a
the
buyer,
economy is
seller, or,
run homes.
you know, you're
So I've been really
investments.
fascinated
It's different for each
about,
of us.
you know,
But,
working with people. Also,
yeah,
I just
I'm
think
kind of
it's
excited about this.
things to help a family, you know, see that really purchase and
Oh, I
watch
used to work
those,
there a
that
lot.
excitement.
So I used to do
So
different.
I
for the
just
different-
decided, you know, and also it was another tick off.
Oh, yeah, then you get away from that. Then you get away from that. But yeah, have you tried DoorDash?
No,
So how it's been since you guys.
Have you thought
Oh my
about,
gosh,
like who you're
3
gonna
months,
target?
3 months. It has been insane in 3 months. So
Mhm.
still,
Congratulations.
thank you.
All
right.
We're good.
Yeah. Like Facebook.
And the great thing about this neighborhood is
Excited about
there's
doing
no
that, coming up with the system.
And
Um,
about 60%
and,
of these homes.
So what I'm really,
Still
really
have
looking forward to is some of this, you know, social.
Now, I
media
will say the
not
last few
like that.
years, we're seeing a
Right,
lot
so
of
I'm
them
not
flip.
very, in fact,
to
I was
cars.
almost getting off
But
like
I
that,
have lived
down
in
to
that
20
area
on my
27
Facebook before I became real estate agent and then realized you had to
So,
put it back up.
But
So
I
then
really-
some friends
and
don't
it-
like
and
what you
what
teach
I really
them.
like about the neighborhood is
They're not as open to
there
taking
are
you back.
two STEM schools.
And so look at this mobile, but it's been.
Okay, so we got 30 seconds and we'll be all back together again.
30 seconds. So that's where, how about you?
I'm really interested in getting the divorce.
I think the first step is going door to door and not being prepared, because it is where to go, here's my card, without giving them any information, hey, you know, the mark off this or that, and so now I got that script I've been practicing, and so I'll do that, and then going from the early open houses and then adding the ads, to do that. Like, Craigslist.
Yeah.
You just put in your open house. So you can just post it there. One of the things that I really wanted to.
Where are we?
To direct them. So like,
Welcome back. All right. So how many of you felt weird?
I really didn't.
No.
Good.
No.
Hey, I love the fact that I put you in breakout rooms and I get to see more faces. Like when you went away into in your small groups, you all turned your cameras back on. So maybe we need to do that more often. So let me ask you this. What did you learn from your script partner by implementing Ford? Anybody want to share anything you learned about your partner?
I learned I was in the exact same boat as she is. She's in Blackhawk, I'm in Keystone, and we're both starting off and kind of had the same challenges and dreams.
Yeah. Awesome. What else? Anybody else?
Both of my people are, have recently relocated, and so we're kind of all in the same boat that way, and obviously starting a new business.
I love that. So you would have thought I did that by design, because I do know an awful lot of you, and I didn't. Like, so that is just, the magic of the conversations and the randomness of it. So to answer the question that was asked about how to find scripts, I will look to see in our current Ignite where they are, but I want to show you what I found while you guys were all doing what you did. So I went to mykw.kw.com and I went to the education tab and I did a search and I wrote the word Ignite script. And I searched, and then I searched only on documents. And I found, like, here's one for open houses, another one for open houses. And down here, Habits of Lead Gen Lesson 3. Now, I don't know what this comes from. It's a different course, but look what it is. So when I opened up the document, you can't see anything because I'm not sharing my screen. Okay, well, I've never used Zoom before. I'm kidding. So anyway, I came here, right? I went to MyKW, went to education. I wrote Ignite script and I searched, and then I filtered only on documents. And when I searched only on this thing's broken because it's not picking up the right thing. But anyway, are you guys seeing my search, or are you seeing the Ford thing?
Your search.
Okay. Well, let me try something. Maybe it's the stupid PowerPoint. Okay, never mind. Okay. Anyway, here is one of them. It says Habits of Lead Gen Relationship Building Scripts. And when you open it up, I already had it open. That's okay. You get this document, right? And it talks about the approach to start a conversation. It gives you an idea of what to say when you're in a neighborhood, in a coffee shop. It talks about the 6 questions. And then here's the Ford. And then it gives you Ford questions. Ford examples. How is your family? How did you meet your spouse? Where are you originally from? What kind of activities, right? Now, granted, this is some of these are Ford for people you know less than some of the people you might be calling, right? What line of work are you in? How's your job going, right? So there's there's more scripts out there than you could ever want to find.
I like using this Ford for even people.
Yes.
Like you're a waitress, or you run into somebody, you're at a shop. That would really be.
Oops, I have a mess on my screen.
There we go.
So now you're back, but I lost the PowerPoint. Okay, so it's okay. We're almost done. It just doesn't really matter anymore. Okay?
It just doesn't matter.
It doesn't. We've had a long day. So one thing I want to know, so every day in Ignite, you're going to grow in some way. Okay? It's either going to be in how you think, how you feel, how you act, or maybe something that you implement. So as you think about your big life and you think about what we did today, I got to tell you, oh, wait, we're supposed to go to 2, aren't we?
For 2?
No, 4. So that was pretty fast 4 hours. At least to me, even teaching it, it felt like things moved pretty well and you guys stayed engaged and most all of you are still here, which is always a good sign, right? So just really quickly, I want you to jot down on your paper or in your participant guide, I want you to just quickly write in there how you've grown today. If you reflect back on what we did today, how did you change just a little bit? All right. Anybody want to share? That's okay.
No, I grew just by the scripts and some of the things that we described. I feel a little bit more confident going out there and talking.
Love it.
So.
Love it. All right. Taking time to reflect on what you learn is important. You're going to help build your confidence. You're going to celebrate your growth. I'm going to celebrate it with you. Your coaches are going to celebrate it with you. After every one of these sessions, I want you to think about how did I grow today? Maybe I opened up my mind, right? Maybe I learned a new script. Maybe it could be something super small, right? But it's what it is. Make sure that you guys every day are practicing some scripts and role plays. Find an accountability partner, right? You met each other in your breakout rooms, right? Get connected with each other. Make sure that you're preparing to fulfill this stuff tomorrow. Please make sure you bring some contacts, but you all have your phone, so you'll have them. So tomorrow, Jody's teaching. For those of you that are in Denver, if you're here in this room, somebody's gonna have to figure out the technology or at least put it on one person's Zoom and sit around and watch it however you wanna do it. If there's anything I can do for you, please call me. For those of you that don't have my phone number, it's 303-522-1276. And I'm happy to help you. I don't care which of the market centers you're from. So with that, it was a pleasure. I will see you back here next Tuesday and go out and make some more friends.
Good job, Robert.
Thank you.
Thank you.
He's gone.